And we are live.
Yes, if anyone has a list, make it now because I'm going to be doing that.
A list for
And
what?
I need health potions.
A list for what?
For what
For
we need
potions.
to do Tuesday for potions.
I mean, do you want to take another adventure into alchemy? The last couple times haven't really ended well.
Oh, it'll be
I
fine.
don't know
What's the
what you're
worst that
even
can
talking
happen?
about.
I mean, we had a case of mass insanguination. Zale's eyes are now partway in reality, partway in the astral plane. I mean, what else could go wrong, right?
We're running out of things to go wrong. I mean, let's just keep rolling with it.
It'll all be fine.
Wisp, thank you for that 1 year resub. You vote for vote an AA-ish for Zorro. Get off the potion hoarding.
Hey, I am very low on potions. I can now make potions. It's the only potion I can make, but I will make health potions now. I've got the shit. Let's do it. I've got nothing but time on this boat.
I don't know. That kind of like, given how the last time that happened, that sounds more like a threat than anything.
Don't make me potion somebody.
I practiced over the last year, and it's the only one, like I said, I can make. So, but this time, if it's a different color, she's dumping it out.
Potions of haste. Let's do it.
Oh, put that on our list.
I will put that on our list right now.
That way I don't have to concentrate on it. God damn it.
I mean, y'all can make potions. Don't know
Drink
if that...
it's safe.
Yeah, don't know if that roll's going to be good or not.
Just drink it, it'll be safe.
I mean, a botched potion of haste could, I don't know, end up being a, just, massively aging you at a rapid pace.
Or teleport you to the plane of time.
Or age you so fast you just cease to exist.
It's a risk I'm willing to take on someone else's behalf.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
I'll make it someone else drinks it.
Is that why you need my blood?
It's for something else. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Then it's okay.
He's making more of those exsanguination potions.
The thought had crossed my mind, but I left Ash to her own devices when it came to making those potions.
She did.
So I wasn't even paying attention in the least bit as to what she was doing.
And in my defense, I told her, don't leave me, don't make me do this. And she's like, you got this. And I'm like, no, I don't. I do
What
now.
could possibly go wrong?
I do now.
Well,
if it's that potion, any other
Entire
potion,
village
I'm like,
could
don't
be
leave me.
yeah, we could kill most of a village.
I mean,
Well, maybe the other thing that I need your help with
Let's-
will be a little bit easier.
let's
It's
put
not
it this
something that
way.
heals people, it's something that hurts people.
Let's put it this way. You are all at that level now that any botched items that you make have the capability of becoming weapons of mass destruction.
so we use it as a bomb.
Hey, I can make those. I know
You
how.
never
Do we
made a
really,
bomb.
really want to?
I have made an acid bomb. I just never used it. It's still
Wait.
sitting in my inventory.
exsanguination bomb.
No.
Aw.
You
Why
said
not, Rojan?
no,
Sounds
but
great.
my master alchemy kit says I can attempt it.
But what does your
Attempted.
gold say?
I may have to make a withdrawal from the Bank of Molly, but we can work something out.
Our sugar daughter.
Just drop one of those on whatever big bad we're dealing with, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Inside the bomb, there's a small mouse that gets all the hit points.
And that mouse just gets really big and buff and everything. Now you're fighting a rat king.
Oh Lord.
I'll bring Snowdrop out. She knows how to do this.
Anyway, so this isn't the Tuesday game, even though we kicked off talking about the Tuesday game because we always talk about Zorro's potion problem with her characters. Every one of them seems to have an apothecary in their back pocket.
You know, y'all make fun of me for it, but then when we actually use it, it comes in
That's
handy.
just it. You don't.
I did lately.
Everyone starts bleeding to death, and halfway through the fight, you remember that you've got 47 potions in your inventory.
I like to think I heal them with love from my circlet, because then they'll never go down.
With love from your circle.
They'll just be stuck in a loop of being knocked unconscious and then waking up with like 4 HP and then being knocked unconscious again.
There's a song about that.
But no death. No death.
No, but probably some lingering
Until the bad
mental
guys
and
catch
emotional
on.
trauma.
Till the bad guys catch on and coup de grace you while you're down before your turn comes up.
It's fine.
Yep. Y'all forget coup de grace is a thing.
Yep. So is Mardi Gras.
And it's an instant.
No, that's a bard ability.
when you're unconscious.
It's like from Jumanji. My skill is I can make really good cocktails or mojitos or whatever it was.
So, if you guys have stuck with us the past couple weeks, we've been talking about this show for quite some time. Just as a reminder, Blood on the Gray is no longer happening. Mainly because I cannot manage a job and writing for 2 different campaigns as the DM. There's just a lot of work that I have to do throughout the day now on my job, preparing for the tournaments and all that fun stuff, that kind of makes getting any sort of free time to plan a bit of a jumble. So instead of having this game suffer to where we may or may not have an episode during the week, or like having the Tuesday night game suffer as well because of subpar planning or whatever, I'm going to be stepping away from the DM position. I'm still going to be playing, but I'm not going to be DMing. And in about a month, right? Because it's on February 27th. On February 27th, the Monday 24th. I'm sorry, the 24th.
Yes.
The Monday show will be our Mass Effect game, and Zorro will be spearheading that one as the DM.
I'm both excited and nervous to be here.
I'm just waiting to see who kills who first, my character or Fox's character.
I am a law-abiding citizen, I'll have you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so was Garrus until he said "fuck the law."
and I'm the psychopath that is in control of the ship.
Well,
Sometimes
thankfully,
the law
you're not the
gets in the way.
captain of the ship. Well, we haven't gotten that far
So-
yet, but he is the
I
driver.
think thankfully
My hands
none
are
of
on-
us are the captain.
My hands are on the flight stick.
Yeah, you're.
You cross
the
me and I
driver.
will fly us right into a supernova.
Do you want to be court-martialed? Wait, this isn't military.
I'm not the military.
Wait a
You're not
minute.
my supervisor.
You're not my supervisor. Yeah.
But that's gonna happen on the 24th.
Mhm. I'll make an advertisement once I have everyone and get everyone's art. Then I'll make like a little poster board for it.
Maybe the following Mondays before that we can get something together for the show, so Monday isn't completely a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do like some what do you call it? Community games or something.
Mm-hmm.
See, when we first started talking about this and thinking that it was likely going to be middle to end of February, it's like, that's probably just enough time for me to run another one shot. And I started giving it some serious thought, but then I was dying for a whole week and lost a lot of time. So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen anymore, but it was a possibility.
I will say this past week, I've had a lot of twisted ideas for both season 2 and season.
Nice.
I may have in an afternoon taken and designed the theme for the Far Realms. So get ready for a lot of storybook style stuff.
Nice.
Like the Far Realms are not really going to be a human settlement. It's going to be all like fantasy like creatures.
Yes.
It's why ratlings are in charge.
No.
And sadly, my other game, I do not have enough of it written to run it yet. So
It's fine. It's what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks
Yeah,
of
it's
filler.
it's 3 weeks of filler, and then we come back.
Yeah,
for
and
Mass
Azrin even
Effect.
volunteered to do something maybe as kind of like a talk show in between if we can't think of anything. So I mean, we've got some ideas. It's just something to fill in the slot until then. So it won't be that bad.
Oh, those of you in chat who won the dice for the giveaways, I will be mailing them out on Saturday. So sometime next week after, your Kraken dice should be coming in the mail.
Yay!
I was going to do it this Saturday, but for some reason my body decided I needed to sleep. And then I woke up and I had to rush out, get a haircut, come back, and then attend a meeting that I had at 3:30. That didn't happen. I was sad.
Oh. Oof.
So yeah, like I said, Blood on the Gray is ending, but before like we just just sent it off out to pasture or anything, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. Also, questions of the community, questions that you guys may have, because I know there was a couple WTF moments in the game, and I wasn't telling you guys anything. So tonight is just pretty much a discussion about the characters and the whole overarching story, where it was going to wind up. And I don't think anybody would call where it was going to end up.
No,
Nope.
I don't think we would be able to.
Nope.
It would make Zorro sad.
Why? Where were we going?
we were going to
Why?
have to
Death
kill
of the Grey
Alistair. That's what it was.
pretty much the final encounter was going to be that Solus.
Into Vinter?
No, not Solus into Vinter, but it's like the whole encounter with the archdemon.
Mm-hmm.
Solus was pretty much going to ally himself with it in order to
Bitches and hoes.
begin the purge before like all the elves went back off to Elfland.
Oh, bitches and hoes.
Yeah.
She'd be so upset.
I had to make Solus the bad guy at one point because I absolutely hate Solus.
I know you were biased.
I hate Solus with a passion, so I had to throw him in there to like get stabbed repeatedly or something.
Hey, the person I really hate is only a year old in the game you guys are playing. Okay, so I'm just saying, I'm not being biased.
I mean, but that's Ash, so maybe we can stop by her. I'm just saying.
Which is funny because just to sidestep a little bit, I was showing Gillitown the first playthrough. It was a Paragon playthrough. I didn't realize that the person decided to sacrifice Kata and save Ashley. But even before that point, the whole time she was like, God, I hate Ashley. She's so racist. She's trying to talk me out of getting rid of everyone on my ship. And I'm like, now you know why we hate her.
The correct answer is
like
kill
her at
both
all.
of them.
Yeah, well, no.
Kill both of them. You don't really. You roll a Vanguard. Kill both of them. You're fine.
No.
Don't need
Save
either of
Kaden.
them.
Save Kaden. Let him go. And embrace
No. Caden's too whiny for his own good. He's got to die.
You kill all of them except for Rex and Garrus.
Whoa, whoa.
What you do
whoa.
is you
Liara.
sacrifice Ashley in Mass Effect 1, and then you crush Caden emotionally and mentally in Mass Effect 3.
Or
Yes.
You can actually kill her.
you sacrifice Caden in Mass Effect 1 and you kill Ashley in Mass Effect 3.
Have you done that? Because when you kill her in 3, it's so glorious. She's like, go to hell. And I'm like,
Yeah, you
bitch.
full on gut shot her.
after you, bitch.
I think that
Oh, so
almost
sorry.
sounds like the best option.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
great.
like double tap gut shot her, and then you shoot what's his face. You like shoot him just right in the chest.
not
Udina or whatever his name is.
Udina, yeah. Oh god, I hate him.
But yeah, you just like double tap her right in the gut.
He's technically born. He's maybe a teenager at this point. Maybe a very young, early 20s, maybe.
But yeah, but so you guys were going to get into an area to where Esthea was going to find out that she was pretty much being used this whole time, and depending on your guys' choices throughout the game, could have actually seen her playing host to the Archdemon.
I would have been okay to kill her. I had many moments where I was like, we can kill her.
Oh no, but the thing was, is if like Esthea played host, I was gonna let Fox control her. You would have an Archdemon with you.
Kill that bitch.
Another voice to add to the collective, I guess.
Oh, Stea's head was getting to be mighty crowded.
HB Fox is just going around. We are Legion.
You're not far off.
At that point, every time you open your mouth, you're rolling a dice to see whose voice comes out.
Yeah, seriously. Which of the multiple voices?
It's like, who's got control right now? Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jimmy was going to make a huge comeback. Jimmy
deserved what he got.
Jimmy was going to be one hell of a boss fight. I'm kind of sad that nobody got to see Jimmy in his prime, but it was
Jimmy 2.0.
It was like Jimmy 5.0, because you guys were going to run into Jimmy like every now and then, but when you fought him, he was going to be like this supreme darkspawn.
Oh god, he was going to become the architect.
And
but
I'm
technically
sure
not, because that was a magistrate, but still.
No, he was pretty much going to be a Death Knight.
And I'm sure if we ever did run into him in battle, Esthea wouldn't have been able to resist reminding him that at one point he had to bow to her.
Oh my god, you are such a dick.
There's Esthea. Didn't I kill you once already?
Jimmy's like, allow me to return the favor.
Okay, so I have a question. What the fuck happened to our Mabari babies?
Rip.
You wanted to kill our dogs.
They were coming back as Darkspawn Mabari.
You were gonna kill our puppies. I worked hard seducing them.
The moment.
How did you not see that coming?
The moment you left Denerim without them, they were dead.
You wouldn't let us. We were going to get them and you wouldn't let us.
No, if one of us had been literally on the way to the stables, we might have got away with it.
Guess who was next to the stables? Esthea!
I was in the castle mansion. Yep. I was lighting the king's bedroom on fire. That's right.
They were going to be Jimmy's warhounds.
That hurts. That hurts. Sauron had so much life and love to give.
You expected something else, perhaps?
No.
So much love and life.
I know how to tug at your character's heartstrings.
You know, that's just me. That's not even my character. That's just me. You killed a member of my family. I'll kill you, DM.
You will have the opportunity.
Yeah.
This is true.
Sweet.
Rocks fall, Rojan's new character dies.
What you gotta do now is give his Krogan a pet Varen, let him have it and love it for a while, and then kill it.
Yep. I have to build up that love, that connection, and rip it out of your hands.
Or turn it against him somehow.
Because again, there's no reviving. You're dead, you're dead.
Yeah, but
unless you want some super expensive cloning.
The question would be, would he even care?
I would make you care. I was gonna say I care, and I'm like, wait, I'm the DM. I would make you care.
Roll for caring.
Spend 3 years forcing him to care, like Rojan did to my character in season 1.
I'm sorry. What?
You know what you did.
What did I do?
To all of us.
I
The trauma.
don't remember a damn thing. I'm sorry. Just cue that that scene from Street Fighter with M. Bison. But for me, it was Tuesday.
What would have happened in Parvalin?
Shenanigans.
Oh God.
Just it like that would all depend on how Ross played it. Because Ross had
This is getting manacled.
Ross had
Again.
all the like would have had all the control in Parvalin.
Why does this keep happening to me?
Like he could have like completely sold out Estia, and Fox would have to make a new character.
Yes.
And then with her gone, the blight would have never been stopped.
no, there's other ways to stop.
Oh no,
the blight.
that whole thing of Estia being the key to stopping the blight, that was bullshit. Estia being the
Knew
key was Estia is the body that the archdemon wants to possess.
I think as players, we all kind of guessed at that part, but as characters, nobody had any idea about it, and that's the important part.
Well, that's why my character kept questioning, like, well, then why do we need Grey Wardens? They're like, if she dies, it's fine. We'll find another way. We have Grey Wardens. Grey Wardens have always been around.
So
Why do we
you're
need
telling
reasons?
me,
Because shut up.
you're telling me I could have literally brained Estia at some point, left her for dead, and it wouldn't have mattered?
It
Yeah.
probably would have made things easier for you.
Oh,
Yeah, I was waiting.
no
Like, if
offense,
she
Fox,
got
but it was
super bad.
just one of those things.
Mhm.
We
We were all thinking it.
If the moment ever came up where the party ended up in a fight with each other that we all kind of knew was going to be to the death, I would have felt terrible about it, but Estia would have used walking bomb on each and every one of you.
I mean, that's the
You
only way to be
wouldn't have
sure.
Felt terrible at all.
As a
Don't
player, I
give me
would have
that.
felt terrible. As a character, Estia would have died smiling because the spells continue even if the caster is dead.
I will say that if you decided to have gone with that demon, with the desire demon, when you guys were trapped on that ship, it would have ended the game. Actually, it wouldn't have ended the
What?
game. It would have killed everyone.
I knew it. I knew it.
Demons are
I
our
had
friends.
suspicions. There was one key thing that kept coming up because that offer was made to her, I think, twice, 2 or 3
Three
times.
times.
By the desired demon to
Yep.
step into Vinter and take her rightful place. But I think when the moment came, if it ever came, that we were actually like truly headed back to Vinter, like on the border, about to step into it, I don't think Estia would have gone back. I think she was too afraid of her father when she came back and what he would do to her. She wanted to go home. Her whole kind of purpose of this journey was to get back home. But standing at the front door, I don't know if she would have turned that doorknob. Because I think she was just too afraid of him. He was
None
not
of
a
us
nice
knew that.
dude.
Now I kind of
Oh,
want
nice
to.
dude.
Now I would have loved to see her go through the portal.
That's why she ended up not doing it, because she was so close. That first time that offer was made, I think it was like right after there was an argument with the party or something, and she was
You
like,
set the caravan on fire.
she really didn't want to be there anymore, and she really, really disliked everyone except maybe Magnus. He was all right at that time.
You like jumped her on the head many times.
And the offer was made, hey, come on back home. And she was gonna do it, but then she remembered who was waiting for her back home.
Daddy-o.
Yeah, and we never really got into that part of her backstory. We kept inching closer and closer with like the scars on her back and everything. He was a Tevinter father, is what he was. He
Yep.
didn't want her to start with. He wanted a son. And when he finally kind of accepted her, he trained her up to be powerful enough that she wouldn't be a disappointment in the eyes of the people around him, but he always restricted her education so that she would never, ever surpass him in knowledge and power. And every time she got close to something that he didn't want her to be close to, he would find some reason to punish her for it. And he was a big fan of flagellation.
So question then, with him having a sample of red lyrium, was it something he stumbled upon, or was he actually Venatori?
It was just something that he had in his collection.
Oh, okay.
He was a magister, and I don't remember how many magisters there are in Tevinter, but there's like a set number of them, and he was one of them. So he had this like massive mansion of a home with a huge library and a huge collection of various artifacts and pieces of ancient knowledge and this and that type of thing. And that red lyrium was one of his more prized pieces, but he kept it separate from everything else because he knew what red lyrium was.
What does Lance's mama think about all that?
She's dead.
Oh, okay.
That answers that question.
Yeah.
Yep.
Easy answer. She's dead.
I figured since Daddy kept being used.
You know, with a dead parent and a tragic backstory like that, Esthea sounds like she's a Disney princess.
Yeah, except instead of making friends with animals, she just gets beaten by her party.
Because she was such a dick.
It's like
You know,
Frozen. It's like Frozen, but with blood magic.
Oh, there you go.
You might think that a person would maybe sit down and reflect a little bit. Why is everybody so mean to me? Why is everybody so mean to me? No matter where I go, people don't like me. People treat me badly. Well, maybe it's because of how you behave.
She wasn't entirely unaware. She wasn't as much of a dunce as she often led on, but because of where she came from and the type of family that she came from, she's used to being forced to have other people do things for her. Like if she ever tried to do something for herself, you know, she got the backhand from old Pops there. And so she was brought up to make the slaves do the work for her. So when she's put in a position of traveling with the party, she tries to continue to project that upbringing of, why am I doing all of this when I have these people around me that should be doing it for me?
Look how that worked out
Regardless
for
of
you.
whether or not that's right or wrong, I'm telling you it's wrong. But regardless of that, it's how she was brought up and how she was forced to be. And if she was anything other than that, then she was hurt for it.
We could have been your freedom. We could have been your freedom, but no, you decided to be a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, that's who she was.
Which is great because we all hated your character, but it wasn't because like, oh, we hate you and your decisions. It's like, no, it's like we legitimately hate you, and that makes us have feelings towards a character.
Yeah,
that's a good character.
Esthea is a character that was always destined for a bad end. I don't think she could have ever had a happily ever after. Like, even if we ended the blight and we're all besties and, you know, we lived in a cottage out by a lake somewhere at the end of the campaign, I think she still would have been so broken that it would have been a bad end for her regardless. It makes me a little sad because I don't like seeing, you know, my babies go into a position like that. But
there's this Theo yelling at a squirrel.
She's a character that was created from like the darkest parts of me, and so it was kind of, there was no way that I could see her being happy.
Well, either we would have killed her, betrayed her, be possessed, then we had to kill her. I mean, none of your options were looking good.
Yeah, it was
so far
a bad time all around for her.
Yeah.
Thea almost came to a very violent end twice by Magnus's hands.
Only twice?
Only twice did I actually roll to see if I just left her for dead.
I struggled on the ship, especially when it was 2 turns in a row, Rojan. 2 turns in a row that you almost knocked her off the ship into that.
No, there was a couple.
Dark spawn. I was like, save her or let her fly.
He was actually messaging me in private. He's like, I could let her go. I could do it right now. I could just let her go.
No, I can't
He's like,
remember.
I will kill her if she betrays us.
I think it was like after the caravan was burned or something, but there was a one point where it was literally Magnus was alone with an unconscious Thea, and it's like, I could kill her right now.
Mhm.
This would all be over.
Yeah.
I think that was before the caravan burned. It was when you locked her in that one cabin, right?
And I literally just off cam rolled the dice and went, even she lives, odd she dies. Okay.
Blanco almost killed her when the caravan burned down, and I had you pinned down to the ground with a knife to your hand, and I was like, I could do it right now. I could do it. But then I'd disappoint my master, and I'm gonna wait until you push me to the point where I say, fuck all orders, and I'm gonna just murder you.
Weirds has a good question for Shadow Fox. What was in that note that you burned?
Let's see here. I gotta find that. That's a ways back.
That's a good question.
So, the thing about Bearsods is that they're still part of the Coon.
Coon.
Whatever.
The Coon.
Different game.
Sorry, my ear twitched. I was like, wrong one.
God, where is it? Yep. It was way, way long ago. I'm gonna have to look it up. But the thing about Bearsods is they're still part of the Coon. So Bearsods are actually sent out to gather information on other cultures. They're basically a spy that doesn't always care if their presence is known, is the way I understand it. Like they might actually
like information gatherers.
Yeah, they might actually have like an espionage style mission, in which case they don't want to get found out. But for the most part, people know if you're a Kunari and you're still part of the Coon, then you're probably reporting information back. So yeah, that's what that was. But the gist of it was if I look that up, I should be able to find it. The gist of it was like just an update on what the party was, or what I was doing. That I found my way into this party that we had been offered positions as Grey Wardens. And the current Arishok of the Coon is Sten from Dragon Age Origins. So I know he knows about the Grey Warden, so I was writing him to basically inform him that I was going to be part of the Grey Wardens. Even though he had worked with the Grey Wardens, he never became one himself. So I thought it might be like some nice information, this huge part of the lore in this culture that the Kunari are trying to take over is the Grey Wardens. They have these blights, and then they rely on the Grey Wardens to take care of the blight. Like if we were to take over, all these areas to the south of us and all these countries, then like if we were to get rid of the Grey Wardens, then we'd be stuck with probably a couple more blights, without an answer to them. So that's kind of where I was going with that.
And this blight kind of was a bit special because it completely went out of order.
Mhm.
The archdemon that was summoned was not supposed to appear for until after 2 more blights. He was like third in line from like all the other dragons that had yet to been resurrected. So she kind of cut in line because a certain farm boy was killed while a certain mage is wearing a certain amulet. I'm not going to name names. Was there a moment when it came close to affecting a character's alignment? Like doing something so outside of it, there is no saying that it didn't affect them.
I kind of have an answer to this. The system that Dragon Age uses is a little iffy in that regard because there isn't really alignments in it. But there was an instance in the campaign that marked a bit of a shift in Esthea's way of thinking. And that was the bathhouse incident. It was after she was freed, and when Valentha walked with her back to the inn and made sure she got to her room safely. After Esthea kind of recovered from that incident, she really kind of examined what had happened there, because what did happen, that act of kindness was entirely foreign to her. It kind of made her stop, like, well, wait a minute. Maybe people can care about me. And she did a lot of really dumb shit after that, but
yeah, I was like, she put that down the tube real quick, though.
in the back of her mind, the thought never left that there was the potential for kindness from somebody that was so quick to threaten and attack her. There was still that spark that could be ignited if it just had the right fuel.
When you said in the back of her,
never got there.
There was something in the back of her mind. All I was thinking was, yeah, that was Magnus's axe.
I mean, there was a lot of things in the back of her mind. There was an arrow at one point. There was Magnus's axe. There was various voices. There was red lyrium. All of that just kind of hovering around in there.
Very early on, there was part of a wall.
Part of a wall, yep.
I mean, that could have caused some permanent damage.
It could have. I mean, that was a hard hit.
That was
a hard hit for a level 1 to take.
Yeah.
What about the rest of you? Was there any point in time where there was an action that they were tempted to do that would have resulted in a massive character shift?
The killing of Esthea would not have done a character shift. That would have just been getting rid of a problem.
Yeah, that would just been a Kunari Tuesday.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just a Kunari thing.
So for Magnus,
that was my biggest struggle as
Ross
was not killing Esthea. In fact, not killing Esthea was more of a character struggle than just doing it would have been.
So Magnus started off the game, and I basically, since there's no hard alignment, I basically wrote him as just on a scale of 100 at both ends, 0 in the middle. I just put him as 0 as basically neutral. I mean, he experienced some horrible things, but I mean, up till that point, there had never been a real question. And every time something horrible happened, I was slowly sliding that scale one direction.
Oh God.
And it was like Magnus is getting, like, every time something horrible happened, he was more and more done with absolutely everything and going, what is the immediate thing I can do to solve the problem?
Kill a bitch. Or leave. Yeah, my character was, again, just as we repeated, there's really no alignment system in Dragon Age, but the way I played her was chaotic neutral. And she pretty much played that the whole time. I mean, she kind of it was her interest first, her freedom first. She had her own morals and her own code that she stuck with. A little bit towards the end there, she was fighting against it because she wanted to kill Asthea, but she had orders to not, and she was battling that really hard. But I don't think there was anything she could have done to really make her have an alignment shift. Unless some like curveball was thrown in there, but no, she was playing more chaotic neutral, so she could have gone either way and still be fine as far as alignment goes.
So there was one thing that we that was talked about a couple times when we were trying to set up a day to do this, was the hidden goals each of your characters had. Like what you were secretly planning to do, either to the group or to achieve your own goals. That we unfortunately never got to see come to fruition. I see that look on your face.
Well, I mean, to be
Silly,
fair,
thank you for the host, dude.
Magnus really never had any serious long-term goals because, I mean, all his family were dead by Darkspawn at that point. So Magnus sort of was doing the how many of them can I take with them before I end up dying? But there was never any higher goal for Magnus. Every day he lived was more of a shock than anything else.
Was he was he born a surfacer, or did he come to the surface later after his family died?
He came to the surface much later.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I was playing him as a surface dwarf, but it was strictly because his family had all been killed, that it was him distancing himself from the entire thing. It was nope, I have no intention of being anywhere near those tunnels ever again.
It would have been interesting if we had to go to the deep roads.
If we had to do that, there would have been some serious trauma coming up real fast.
Not gonna lie, if you guys did go back there as part of like the whole means of warning everyone, you would have had to go into the deep roads.
Yeah, Magnus would have not been okay with any of that because he did everything in his life to distance himself from those events. So forcefully dragging him back into it probably would have ended badly.
Seeing it on the surface, I'm sure didn't help either.
It's like, I left this shit behind. Not again.
Asthea.
No, you didn't.
And every time Asthea did something demon or darkspawn related, it's like, you are treading a thin line of death.
Oh, shit.
Like, I swear, if we end up with darkspawn nose to nose with us, you're dying with them.
Just like the equivalent of Tickles raise his gun.
Yeah, that basically was the point Magnus was getting to. It's like, I swear, if we end up with Darkspawn in camp with us some night, the battle's over when Asthea's dead.
I actually think that too, Weirds. I thought Magnus was going to maybe go Grey Warden because of that.
No. Magnus had wanted nothing to do with the Darkspawn the entire time.
Yeah, and going Grey Warden with like his like whole I'm gonna stay away from the deep roads sort of thing.
Yeah.
Bad career move, seeing as how once you quote unquote retire, you go down to the deep roads.
But you take as much as you can with you, just like you said.
But that would be Magnus willingly going back into the deep roads and willingly acknowledging that's what was going to happen.
But see, I also, as a player and a character, did not know that's what he feared in the deep road. So
no, I was not making it knowledge because it was like, no, this is something that sits in the back of his mind at all times.
Yep. Oh god, now the name escapes me. The dwarves that decide to make themselves castless so they can fight in the deep roads until they die.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot their names now, but yeah, that would have been something I'm sure you would have feared. Like,
I have no intention of going down there. You can't make me.
Yeah.
I'll kill you.
Because they did that to criminals too. They were just like, sweet, you're gonna do this. This is the closest thing to honor you can be.
You're exiled to the deep roads.
Pretty much.
Like, can I just die preemptively? That's okay too.
Yeah. It's like, hell no. So, oh, now I'm sad. All that dark spawn, and when Magnus never opened up to us about like PTSD.
His PTSD took the form of anger.
Well, it was disguised very well since most of it was towards Esthea and those wonderfully timed or poorly timed decisions she was making.
As I said, the moment we ended up with actual Darkspawn with us at any point, if there was Esthea's fault, that would have been it.
Yeah.
Like, nope. I'm sorry, you crossed the line now. Can't help you. We'll find a different way. Maybe if we just kill all the Darkspawn. That's an option too, right?
You know, and that's the sad thing about Darkspawn too, is that there's so many of them that it's probably impossible to even kill them all.
It's like, that'll bring an end to the blight. Kill all of them.
Yeah. But they could
we'll
easily
just take the
more.
deep roads and push it somewhere else.
I mean, that's the worst part about it, is they're almost like zombies, where you have to either be around them long enough. You don't have to do anything. You just breathe them in practically. Be around them long enough to get kind of like their disease, or get their blood inside of you somehow, whether it got in your mouth or in a cut. You basically have the taint now because it's literally in their blood. So that's, the more they would have been around us, we either would have to seek Grey Wardens or find a way to kind of help us or something. I don't know, but we'd have to be around them a lot for long periods of time and go insane.
Oh, insanity was definitely an option.
Yeah. Yep.
Rosa asked what was
about.
So what was with Volantha and that demon?
That was Imshale. Anyone who's ever played the third Dragon Age, he was actually a pretty big part in one of the books.
He was also in the second game as well.
He was, but he was very
minor.
He was very minor. He was mentioned, but he wasn't really the other four, because there's considered four of his kind that were mentioned more. But yeah, he showed up more in the book that takes place between 2 and 3, and he showed up in 3. Basically, Imshale is a kind of a higher form of a desire demon, but he doesn't like being called that, so he likes to call himself a choice spirit. And pretty much as Rojan so beautifully played on it, he always gives you choices. And most of the time they sound pretty, like, oh yeah, no, this is very black and white, but
in the end, the choices don't matter.
Yeah, and he's not one of those demons either where he's just like, oh, do this or this, and if you actually pick the good choice, he's gonna like possess you. It was more of just like, cool, I'm gonna let you deal with your quote unquote demons, and I'm just gonna get out of here because I got what I wanted. So he was more selfish. He was very selfish. So what happened between Volantha and him was this was kind of during the time during Dragon Age 3 where there were more and more rifts, there were more and more demons, and her clan were just trying to get out. And it got to the point where her people just kept dying left and right. They were being cornered. And so when they found a place of peace, her uncle, who was the keeper of the clan, out of desperation, found an artifact to kind of summon him and kind of make a deal with him to save his people. And as a result of that, he gave him a choice, and the choice was sacrifice essentially Volantha, because Volantha was like the odd duck of the whole clan. And her sister said, no, take me instead. And so he killed her sister, and it just set her on edge. So not only did she have a huge grudge against her own clan and her own uncle because her parents, typical, dead. They actually died during the last blight when they were trying to escape. The parents died from the darkspawn attack, but she was really little. Yeah, she really hated Imshel for taking her sister, who was the only person in her entire clan that actually showed her respect and love. So she was very upset with Imshel and wanted to kick his ass.
So knowing that about him, I have to ask, what would have happened if I had actually stabbed Volantha with that truth dagger that he gave me?
It would have killed her.
Truth.
Oh, fuck.
I came this close to doing it, like
It
2
would've-
hours
it
after he
would've-
gave it to me.
It would have just flat out killed her.
It was Rose's arrow, but
The
for
thing
real.
is it would have plagued Asthea with such guilt that she would never have been able to forgive herself.
Yay! A
We
conscience.
came real close to that happening.
Oh, shit. I could have just ran. I'm way faster than you. Or dodge it. I don't know. Who knows how it would have played out, but that's really scary.
And then you
It
catch
almost
an arcane
happened.
lance to the leg.
Yeah, it almost happened the day after it was given to me, and then it almost happened again on the boat.
Because it was like, the way he was looking at it's like either Volantha's going to die or she's just going to get even more tormented. Because the dagger that he gave Volantha, or gave Asthea, was actually the dagger that he used to kill her sister. So Asthea was carrying that with her that the entire time.
So was that him messing with her in the streets with his sister, with
Yep.
her sister?
Yep.
Oh. Was it real though?
Oh no, he had her soul.
Oh, okay.
So he was
Oh man.
he was doing everything he could just to hurt her. Like, because she denied him the first time, she pretty much became the object of his desire. And his whole goal was to make her fall.
Can't touch this.
Even if it meant having a random blood mage stab her with a dagger.
Achievement unlocked. That would have sucked.
Fox, did Asthea have any secret motivations or anything that she was planning on doing?
Yeah, she had motivations. I don't really know how secret they were near the end. At the start of the campaign, her only real motivation was to get back home. But as soon as the blight started, and she was, I guess for lack of a better word, contacted by Razikale, she started to really think about everything that was going on back home and what she was headed back to. And she came to the conclusion that the current magisters of Tevinter don't serve the gods anymore. They just serve themselves. And that now she was this chosen one of the old gods, the dragons that the Tevinter people used to worship, and that helped to give them the power they have. And so she was then going to make it her goal to bring those gods and that power back to Tevinter and take her place as a magister. But that was like long ways off, because she was obviously still not even ready to set foot back into Tevinter. But that's kind of what fueled her desires after the point where she thought she was this chosen one. And I mean, from the sounds of it, it was kind of headed in that direction. If she did become one with, the archdemon, it just would have maybe not been in the way that she thought it would. Become the archdemon, go back to Tevinter, and kill everyone.
Mayhem and death.
What about Ross, the secret one?
The secret one?
The
I
secret
actually
one.
don't feel like Ross was being very secretive, except about not wanting to be known to like sending letters directly back to the Canary. But for Ross, it was basically well, we didn't even get to touch on his backstory except for that one time with the I don't know, what were they, nightmare demons?
The demon, yeah.
That were just torturing us with glimpses of our past that hurt us. So Roz had come to the continent as part of the parties going through the Illuvians. That was what was it? The DLC of the Inquisition game.
The Trespasser?
Yeah, Trespasser DLC. So he was part of those, but he was one of the ones that was still traveling through it when they got cut off. And so he ended up not where they were supposed to come out with the rest of his party. And let's see here. Zara helped me with this because I am not a Dragon Age guru. We ended up in the what was it? The Frostback Mountains.
Yes. She's in
which
for Elden.
which is where a certain place,
The Urn of Sacred Ashes.
yeah, a certain place exists that holds the Urn of Sacred Ashes, and that's another thing that's done in the game. And so my party went after that, and most of the party died on the way to collect these, and then more died on the way out. But what is it? The ashes aren't there anymore because that was part of the second game, was it? Or was it the third game?
I mean, it could be the epilogue of the end game, but yeah, technically second.
Okay. So yeah, there you go. So we went through all the puzzles and stuff to get to them, and it wasn't there. So I ended up finding out that somebody had already taken them, and that I was looking for Brother Genitivi, but didn't have the time in Denerim to really go looking after them. So, but yeah, we were going after the Sacred Ashes so that we didn't have to return back to Parvalon empty-handed. But it wiped out most of my party. Well, all of them, really.
Wasn't one of them like your best friend or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Muted, Rojan.
I said, and then a giant spire came out of the ground, and the rest is history.
Yeah. I was in the woods just trying to survive, and some mean old elf tried to leave me there on my own.
I don't know you. I have no obligation to take care of you.
I was so tempted to be like, all right, later. And be like, roll new character.
And I'm sitting here like, don't you fucking do it.
Fine, I'll leave.
I would have been pissed too because I'm like, bitch, you made me draw your character. I swear to God.
And that's what you get for having your character be super mean up front.
That's
It
right.
was organic.
That's all right. If that happened, just a bunch of Darkspawn would have like chased you back to her.
I would have gone out fighting.
Yeah.
All right.
Funny.
So let's go ahead and take our first break for the night, guys. And when we come back, we'll keep on talking and answering any questions anybody has. If you guys are just joining us, this is our send-off episode for our Dragon Age campaign of Blood on the Gray. So we will catch you guys in about 5 minutes or so. right,
Don't
we're
trust
back.
them.
We were
They're
out-
adorable though.
Don't
No!
trust anyone.
No, we were out working
No!
in the backyard, and like they were chilling out on the fence, watching us work and such. They have no harm to anyone.
I don't believe they look nasty. They look like
Who?
little mini yellow jackets.
What?
No. Leafcutter bees? No. They're
No,
fuzzy
they're-
little
yeah,
bastards.
little
No,
fuzzy
they're
ones.
not. I just looked it up. I don't know why I looked it up. They're not
what is-
fuzzy at all.
What's a leaf cutter bee?
It's a
Elite-
demon.
Okay, no, they are literal little fuzzy bees, and you can always pick them out because sort of midsummer, they will start flying back with perfectly cut circles of plant matter all the time.
I can't look at it. Nope.
I have
can't.
never seen one of those.
I just
They're
give
leaf
myself
cutter
anxiety
bees.
just looking at it.
At least the ones that I'm familiar with, they're like if you took a honeybee and you took a bumblebee and they had a baby together, that fuzzy little thing that they make, that's a leafcutter bee.
Yes, and leafcutter bees, their only job in life is go out, harvest leaves to make their nests out of. That's all they do.
No.
And they're-
kill them with fire.
They have no interest in human beings. They're like, no.
That's what they say about regular bees.
Regular bees don't.
No, they do. I have the scars. I'm getting anxiety just.
Rojan, you won't be able to convince her otherwise. I'm telling you right now.
Bees are
All
demons.
access. Thank you for that 9-month resub.
I'm cool.
Bees are not demons.
I'm cool.
Bees are
It
adorable.
all started because you decided to do your little like syringe thing, and I was like, nope, nope.
Oh, I didn't even do the injection part.
I know that's I covered it, and I was like, is he doing it? No. Okay.
Give me a second.
No.
Give me a second.
If he does it, I swear to God, I will click my camera off. I'll do it, Rojan.
So, when I have to do my injections, when I have to change the site for my insulin pump, I use this little thing right here. I load the injection site into this, pull it back, put it against my skin, and it injects it. And then I have to pull the needle out, and it leaves a plastic catheter inside my inside the injection site.
Nice. It's cool.
No, not an on-camera syringe. I'm not getting a TOS here. This is just the little. I call it.
Although, would you
I
get
call
in
it.
trouble considering how
It
it's
is.
a medical thing,
No,
not like I'm doing drugs?
It still would possibly fall into Twitch TOS.
Huh.
But since this isn't anything that can hurt me or anything, this is just the device that I use.
Until you actually load it, it's totally
Yeah.
harmless.
This is just the device that I use to jam the piece of metal into my body. I mean,
Oh,
No big deal. No big deal.
It's cool.
oh, trust me, I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, it takes me about like an hour and a half to 3 hours at times to change it out because I psych myself out. Because
You
I
to
have
work yourself up to it.
I have so much scar tissue in my stomach from the years of constantly doing it that there are times where I will hit the scar tissue and it is painful as fuck, and I have to take it out because it will not inject insulin into it.
It makes me, no offense, makes me happy I'm not diabetic but then again, I am belanophobic and needles are the thing that will save my life if I get stung by a bee. The irony, sir. The irony. But I won't be able to do it. I'm just like, here, you do it. And even then, I don't want you to do it.
I stopped caring about needles sometime around when I had viral pneumonia and I was in the hospital because they came by for blood work every day. And it was like, you
That
know,
just makes it worse.
no, you hit a certain point where it's like, I don't care.
I feel that's kind of how it was when I was in and out of the hospital here this past week. They were doing blood work every single time I was in there.
They did other
And-
things to you that I know that they did to you, and I am so sorry, sir.
And I think it was the third time they were doing blood work. The vein refused to bleed for some reason. So they were like wiggling it around trying to make it work, and it wasn't working.
Speaking of blood, let's talk about blood magic instead.
Great segue to blood magic.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I thought about this during the break. Going back to the question about something that happened that may have shifted our characters in any way. There was a second moment in the campaign where Estia was meandering over to a different method of thought. And that was her encounter with Elena Erden, the tailor at Lady's Grace, that she went out on that nice dinner with that Valentha very rudely interrupted. She was having a wonderful time. She was with somebody from a place that she was familiar with, but she was being treated in a very respectful way. And I dare say it, she was starting to be a little happy before Elena revealed that, she's just being controlled by someone. And then the next day she wound up dead, and everything went south from there. But in that moment, had things not gone the way that they did, I think she could have helped Estia to become a very different person.
She was, from the beginning, planned to die. She was always going to be the catalyst that Valentha's little demon friend was going to use to try to push Estia over the edge to make the choice to stab Valentha. There was no way of saving her.
I mean, do I take comfort in knowing that no matter what I did, I couldn't have changed what happened? Or do I just wallow in pity? Woe is me. Everything always goes bad for me.
I mean, isn't that like Estia's song?
Yeah.
Well, Estia could do an entire Broadway musical out of that.
Mm-hmm. One woman show. Just complaining about everything always being terrible for her.
And yet we were going to have a tender moment on the boat.
We were going to have a tender moment on the boat before somebody barged in and slammed me against the wall and held their forearm to my throat or whatever it was.
And that was only partly Magnus's doing.
Yeah.
I mentioned it.
What would have been that conversation then?
Oh, I have to remember what the actual context of everything was there.
That's fair.
That was right. That was after. Was that after or before the strip search?
That was after.
So somebody messaged me. It's completely out of this topic. What kind of in this topic? Somebody messaged me and mentioned how uncomfortable they were by how uncomfortable Estia was about that strip search. And that made me so happy.
It's not like I did a cavity check.
It was perfect because she was very uncomfortable with that whole thing, and I'm glad that it came across that way.
That's great.
But yeah, that was turning into a moment where Estia felt comfortable showing Valentha her vulnerabilities. And I think that was leaning in the direction of a conversation that would have allowed Estia to let Valentha in and kind of reveal to her why she sees things the way that she does, what the cause of those scars was. She was definitely going to tell Valentha about the dagger and that entire encounter that she had. I mean, she later ended up telling her anyway when we were trying to find a way out of that whole puzzle scenario, but it would have been on a much more personal level if it had been revealed in that conversation. It would have just been a good moment to show at least one member in the party that she isn't just a monster. She's a person wearing the facade of a monster.
Definitely would make it harder to kill you.
Speak for yourself.
No.
The other two are like, nope, no emotion here.
Funny thing is,
Well, they weren't invited to our private conversation anyway.
funny thing is, the quote unquote hero for Eldon was not the hero for Eldon.
He wasn't?
Nope.
I knew I should have killed him when I met him.
Who was he?
He was a rather powerful demon in disguise who took the form of the hero after killing him in the pit, where you found him and the queen.
That sucks. Why would you kill the hero of Ferelden?
Because nobody would expect it.
No one expects the death of the hero of Ferelden.
So,
Truly.
okay.
I mean,
That
you want to
kind of
hide.
makes sense. Kind of makes sense given some suspicions that I had when we found them in the pit. Because I thought, or in character and player knowledge, I thought that caved in entrance to the temple or whatever it was that we saw down there, I thought there was some dirty laundry behind that
Oh, there
caved-in
was.
entrance.
There was.
And I felt like when we pushed the hero about it, he made an unusual amount of effort to dissuade us from going in there.
There was definitely some dirty laundry in there. In the form of a body.
Of the hero for Eldon.
Of the hero for Eldon.
So what would have happened if we decided to dig our way in there?
You would have had a really pissed off demon you had to fight.
Wait, so did the Desire Demon that was pretending to be Morgan, like, knew his true
Mhm.
form?
Mm-hmm.
She was just, like, fucking with us?
Yeah, they were just fucking with you the whole time.
Is that why she let us go? Or was there, like, another reason why
Nope,
she was
that's
just
why
like,
she let you go.
Oh, okay.
Was because it was the long con.
I knew I didn't trust that bitch. Never trust a demon. Never!
Some of them can be trusted, maybe.
No.
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 Just give them the
No.
No.
There has
chance.
never been...
No.
But it-
There's never
No,
been one
no.
demon in any of the series that has ever... The only one that came close, maybe, the Architect. But then you see his true colors and you're like, oh, bitch.
okay, that's fair.
I don't know. There was that desire demon in the first one where she was just like, just let this guy have his happiness. Everything when you were in the fade.
But it wasn't real.
But he thought it was, and she made a very convincing argument.
She did. I'm not going to lie. She did make a convincing argument. And I was like, damn it, demon. No, this is wrong.
Just
Now-
let him be happy, damn it.
To be fair to Esthea, because somebody has to be fair to her,
No, we don't. No, we don't.
she truly believed that there was a chance with certain demons that you could work together with them, because demons were the ones that gave the Tevinter mages access to blood magic, and there was a time where they stood side by side.
That's
That
such a
was
Meryl
long
mindset.
ass time ago, but
That's such a Meryl mindset.
she believed it could happen again.
We were friends once. Why not again?
Exactly.
Why not Zoidberg?
No, but the whole thing was is like if at any point in time she went with the desire demon, she was screwed.
Yep.
Yeah. Screwed if she goes, screwed if she stays.
But see, that was the thing with Volantha too, is that she was kind of showing tough love. She's like, no, don't trust a demon, trust me. And you're just like, no, you're just trying to be mean to me. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to make you see the way. Well, if violence is the only way, then fine.
Now, again, to be fair, you stabbed Esthea several times and shot her with arrows
You
several
summoned
times.
a demon and lit the caravan on fire.
Okay, but you shot me once and stabbed me once before that, and then you stabbed me again and shot me again after that.
You made me out to be a monster.
There is a partial lesson
mean-
in there.
You sold me out.
You put on a fake execution show for Esthea when she was detained briefly in that
That
one
was a
town.
little-
To be
yeah.
fair, that was pretty amazing.
What did she do to earn that?
Blood mage.
Blood mage. And you killed Jimmy.
I was gonna say,
and started
Arcane
like,
killed
Lance,
Jimmy.
Arcane Lance through the face of a poor farm boy while wearing the medallion of an ancient evil archdemon that your people used to worship in the past, and now an outsider cult now worships her, thus bringing the proposed end of the world.
Okay, when you put it
to the
like that, it
world
sounds bad.
early
But-
and skipping her relatives.
When it comes to Jimmy, I just ended his suffering.
Oh, is that what you did?
you had healing.
Yeah,
He got healed. He got brought back as a darkspawn. I mean, that's fun.
he's more powerful now than he has ever been.
That reminds me, what happened to that necromancer that was chasing us?
You'll never
ate
know.
him.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because we won't know.
That's why we're doing
Honest-
this.
Why we're here.
Honestly, the necromancer was a means to get you moving.
Oh.
You were never going to
That's
run
right.
into that necromancer again.
Oh, okay.
He was just a plot device to get you guys, moving along.
His name was actually plot device.
Pretty much. He had plot magic and everything.
I think one of my most satisfying moments in the series was when I caught that guard on his shit about torturing that elf instead of the necromancer, and I was like, oh, you motherfucker.
He's an elf. He did it, right?
That's the guard that tried to make the getaway, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That whole thing was just fantastic.
No, but the necromancer was nothing but a plot device to get you guys moving from the wreckage.
Yeah. With all the people burnt, coming to life. Stia.
Not entirely my fault.
Oh, it was 100% your fault.
When the DM says it's your fault.
Don't. Yeah, but that same DM said that I'm like that Estia was like the least to blame in a lot of this stuff.
No, and a lot of this stuff, Asthea was the least to blame.
So it's all your fault.
But in the caravan situation, that was 100% Asthea.
So the
all
caravan
I wanted to hear.
situation got a little bit out of hand, I'll admit.
Oh, you think?
I just wanted to kill the one guy. I was pretty confident I could get away with it. But a certain
you pinned
elf,
it on me. You pinned it on me.
Elf,
I was pretty sure I can get
wouldn't-
away from it. I get away with it. I think that's the catchphrase of like every serial killer out there.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you damn meddling kids.
And your dogs.
Now, to be fair, I kind of did get away with it.
No, you didn't.
I mean,
By killing everybody else.
Technically, you did because you got rid of all the witnesses.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
That's not what we call a clean getaway.
It's still a getaway.
You know how that entire thing could have been avoided though? If you didn't force that thing onto Esthea,
Again,
you did
it was
her
tough
magic.
love. It was tough love. You weren't listening. So I'm like, you know what? This is for everyone's safety, including yours. And you're like, no. Like, we'll take it off if there's a battle. It's fine. You're just wearing a mask. Think you're a legion.
Oh yeah.
So what-
Here, mage, wear this thing that suppresses everything magical about you.
I mean,
it's like if
Yeah.
I walked up
Fine.
to Valentha, took her bow, and broke it over my knee. It's
I'd
just
stab you
tough
in the
love,
hand.
Valentha. Don't worry about it.
I could still fight you, though.
I mean, I could still fight without magic. It would just
Be a
pathetic
comedy
and
at that
sad.
time.
Yeah.
I did have on my sheet here, my gauntlet has a damage roll to it. It's 1d3 plus 2 is my gauntlet. So I could
Nice.
bitch slap someone and do damage to them.
So 1d3 plus 2.
And it uses the brawling focus, I think it is, which I do have. So there's a decent chance that I could hit with it.
You probably couldn't even pierce my armor. Even
That's
if you maxed
fair.
it. You wouldn't even hit, you wouldn't even scratch me if you got max damage.
But I would still make contact with you in the process.
You would, but I'd be like, oh, you tickled. What was
that wouldn't. You would probably do more damage to yourself if you hit Magnus.
Probably.
Yeah, you would have.
Damage
Wish.
reduction 10. It's like, I do 5. Fine.
Mine is at 5, so if you get the max, it's like, nah, bro. What else you got?
That's fair, but you know, I'm sticking to my story there. None of that would have happened without that helmet thing.
I was also making us good money, guys.
I will say that I will say that a large portion of your problems stemmed from that helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, all the bad stuff that kept happening to you was just because it was just feeding off the negativity of the group, the distrust and the hatred and all the secrets and everything. All it was doing was poisoning everything around you.
Yep.
Yeah. I just want to say too, with how much things cost in the Dragon Age world, I was pretty much considered rich. I was like, it's the most money I've ever had at anything. And it's not even that much, but everything is so like cheap. And I had 12 health potions.
You were definitely rich after you took all my stuff.
Yeah, I was. What's my current goal? Let's see here. I had 12 minor health potions, 5 regular health potions, and a fuck ton of herbs to create more, as well as shit for me to go into the Fade willingly. So I was looking good on health.
I had a candle and some rations.
What was the candle for?
I don't know. It could come in handy at some point.
That reminds me. Was there anything special about the jewel-crusted dagger or the silver and gold mirror with the 4 gemstones on it?
Silver and gold mirror with the 4 gemstones on it was a mini alluvian.
Oh my god!
The dagger was just a dagger.
Oh, okay. Oh my god. Mirror, mirror in my hand. Show me solace. Right now. Right now. Which is funny because he's not even my favorite elf. Fenris is main elf boy. All about Fenris.
Fenris and Sarah are best elf.
I don't know. Zevran might be number 2 for me.
I didn't like Zevran.
Oh, he was funny and suave.
Nope, didn't like him.
And very nimble fingers.
Well,
His commentary was hilarious.
it's like I'm sorry, but when they first introduced him, my first reaction was, "Who is this Dritz Duwarden looking motherfucker?" That was my first reaction to Zevran, and I never used him.
Oh, his commentary was hilarious, especially with him and Wynn. She was like, "Why do you crack jokes about everything? Why don't you just open up and be yourself? You're right. I am so sorry. Let me cry in your bosom. No, get away from my bosom. But you have a very nice bosom for your age." It's like, stop talking about my bosom.
Stop hitting on grandma.
It's like, why? Because you are an older lady. I cannot appreciate your looks. It's like, oh god, Zevran.
Nope, I used Shale, Rin, and Alistair.
And the purge of the pigeons begins.
Fuck the pigeons.
Fuck that pigeons. That's actually the greatest part too. If you talk to the bartender enough, in Dragon Age 2, you actually unlock a conversation where he talks about, there's like, if you ask, are there any news going on? Well, there's a sudden drop in pigeon population in Ferelden. Like, yes, Shale's dream is coming true.
Shale's just going on a pigeon genocide.
That's what I want to know about Shale. So in the books, spoilers, but Wynn dies. Wynn sacrifices herself for her son, who was a mage that fell in love with a Templar. And
that always ends well.
It's actually so far, yeah. And actually it was all part of Cole because he's able to see Cole, because just like his mother, he's very attuned to seeing spirits and everything. And that's how we knew about Cole. So when Cole was introduced as a companion in the 3rd one, I lost my shit. I was like, I love you, Cole. I love you so much. So when she sacrifices herself to save his lover, because she dies, and she basically puts the spirit that saved her life into her. She was traveling with Shale the whole time. So now I'm like, well, what happened to Shale? Because Wynn was going to help her turn back into a dwarf, maybe. So we never knew what happened to Shale.
She's stomping pigeons.
And when that story takes place, it's between 2 and 3.
Mhm.
So it's after the sudden dropping pigeons and for Eldon. But it made me sad because we didn't know what happened to Shale.
Now you know.
Makes me sad.
What happened in Tevinter? Nothing actually happened in Tevinter yet. That all depended on some choices that Asthea was going to make, or was going to end up making, and it could either have bolstered Tevinter, or it could have had completely destroyed Tevinter, like completely burned it to the ground, to where there was nothing but a ruined city of ash and rubble.
See, and that would have been dangerous for us too, because aside from Magnus, me and Ross would not be welcomed there unless I either pretend to be her slave, which we all know Valantha would not do, or just get probably captured and Ross would probably be killed on sight. So us going into Winter would either be like a couple of us need to be super sneaky or something. Would have been very difficult.
Roz was not looking forward to heading towards Tevinter at all. Not even in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I mean, especially since Kunari are still making attacks, they're actually being a little more aggressive right now. What's happening even way after Trespasser? Because in the comic books, there's many comics going on right now that are building up to the next game. And there's a lot of attacks right now on Tevinter with the Kunari. They're not really specifically saying why. I'm just assuming it's same old. They just hate Tevinter, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so there would have been bits and pieces that would have been peaceful but dangerous for us, or just full on attacks.
I mean, to be fair, it's Tevinter. Do they really need a reason other than that?
No, they do not.
Just point to, like, the library of novels that contain all the travesties that they're responsible for, and just say pick one.
Yep.
With that said, I'm really looking forward to being in Tevinter in Dragon Age 4. Not Dragon Age 4, but the next Dragon Age, whatever they call it. And I hope the main character is actually Tevinter.
That would be very interesting.
It's not you continue on with the Inquisitor and everything, trying to find a way to redeem or kill Solus, but to, like, you are playing a brand new character.
See, I have a little counter argument to that as to why they probably won't do that, is because now granted it went with the story, so it was fine, but when they decided you were going to be a human and this is who you were in Dragon Age 2, a lot of people were just like, we don't like this. So they pretty much decided unofficially that they were going to keep with that theme of letting you choose your race. So I am going to just predict maybe that's what they're going to do. And if they do, it doesn't make sense for Kunari to be in Tevinter or be a Tevinter,
in that sense, yeah, but then they can just do the branching stories like they did for Origins, to where every race and gender that you chose had a different starting point, had a different starting path that they took. And
which is what I'm thinking they could probably do for humans.
Yeah.
And elves, because elves actually could be magisters. They were just rare and they're mostly looked upon as slaves, but it did happen. Because
my favorite class to play in Dragon Age is mage. So if I can be a Tevinter mage, I'm like, that may be the first time I will ever willingly roll human in a game. If it means I get to be a Tevinter mage.
More blood magic.
Oh yeah, all blood magic. All blood magic all the time. It will not be denied to me this time.
Damn straight.
Like 3.
Like, yeah. I was so mad in Inquisition when it's like, here are your options. I'm like, where is blood mage?
Exactly.
Oh, we
get
necromancer. Necromancy's fine, but just no blood magic.
Well, because in this game, necromancy is not considered blood magic, nor is it considered negative to a certain degree. We all remember Mama Hawk.
Using the souls of the damned to fight with you. That's not evil.
It's
No, that's
it's
fine.
definitely frowned upon. It's definitely like if they find out you're a necromancer, everyone's like, we don't like you. But
You're
if they
starting to
find out
sound
you're a
like
blood mage,
Caldos.
they'll kill you. But yeah, no, it's yeah, I mean it kind of sort of makes sense. The reason why is because you were fighting against Tevinter and they were supposed to show you could play an asshole, but we had to make you more of a good guy because of shit that's going on with Tevinter that we're building up to. Maybe that's
and
why.
technically, the only Tevinter there that would be able to train you anything would be Dorian, and he's a necromancer.
Yeah, and he opposes blood magic, so
Mhm.
yeah.
Necromancer that opposes blood magic. I love it.
I mean,
That's why we love him.
my first playthrough, I rolled necromancer, and the playthrough that I'm doing now, it's arcane knight.
I love Arcane Knight so much.
I'm sorry. That sword ability's OP. You just charge it up, and you run and start slashing the dragon, and it dies.
Oh, I love it so much. That was the first game where I willingly played a mage first, mainly because I was like, it's about goddamn time. I waited 3 games to romance Cullen's ass. And I'm like, I'm going mage because he deserves some love from mages after being fucked over for 2 games by mages.
Not him.
Not
Just his ass.
Just his ass. So I was like, damn it, I'm going to be a mage. And I loved in the first game because you couldn't be it in the second game, but in the first game, in the DLC, you could be a arcane knight. And I loved it. And the second game, you couldn't be. So I was like, third game, arcane knight, doing it. It's fun. It's awesome. Didn't realize it was OP, but it was still fun.
I'm sorry, can we go back to where the necromancer is shaming blood mages?
I love it. It's like, so necromancy is fine. Blood magic's too far.
I mean,
When the
he's
necromancer
Tevinter.
goes, no, bad blood mage.
It's like, that's your line. That right there, that's your line.
Using it in the fight with you, that's fine. Using blood in your rituals, no, that's bad.
It is interesting though, because the way he used necromancy, the abilities are almost strangely close to was it entropy, where you use the spirits of the souls to fight for you. Because he did that a lot, and it didn't feel you didn't literally raise the dead. He raised their spirits to fight for you.
And see, that was the disappointment for me, because I thought that when I chose necromancer, I could have had like an army of skeletons rise up and fight for me.
Oh no.
But on the plus side, I got walking bomb.
That's true.
So you're telling me you want a necromancer a la Diablo 2?
Yeah. I wanted to just like destroy like an area of bandits, raise them all up as my skeleton army, and have them charging into battle.
Nope. Sorry, buddy.
Seems reasonable.
But I got walking bomb, so it was a trade-off.
That's fair.
Yeah, I need to go back and finish that playthrough. That's like that's the tagline for my stream is I need to finish that playthrough.
I get gamer ADD, so I'm like, oh my god, this game's amazing. Play like 3 hours of it. I'm like, wow, that was fun, and then never pick it up again. I'm like, why? Why did I just not continue it? There was
Why
nothing
am
wrong
I
with
like
it.
this?
I go back to play a game I've played 1,000,000 times. Why?
Yep. Gee, I'm going to grind in this for 40 hours this week. Finish the 12 hours for that playthrough? No, can't do that.
Yep.
No.
I have a Hollow Knight playthrough on hold right now, courtesy of that shit.
Yeah, because I saw you playing Andromeda, and then all of a sudden you switched back. I was like, he couldn't have finished it that quickly. What happened?
ADD.
Yeah, that's I
Descent,
still haven't romanced everyone in that.
Descent into Avernus came out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I still need to romance the rest of the people. I think there's 2 people I'm missing to romance in Andromeda. But I don't want to romance one of them. But I have
Once
to.
it's not Ashley, it's fine.
Which
no, it's
one?
Cora. She's probably just as bad. She's in your face about, I'm biotic. I'm like, I get it. Just go away. I get it. You have biotics.
She's not on my team because I'm the same class.
Oh,
like,
really?
Nope, you get to sit in your room and play with your plants. You're never going on a mission with me. I'm taking I'm going to do the same thing I do in every Mass Effect game. I'm taking the Turian and I'm taking the Krogan. The rest of you can just stay out of the way because you don't matter.
I mean, they're the best. They really are. Drac was basically my replacement Garrus, where no matter where I went, he was always with me.
Drac is Krogan dad.
He is. Oh, I love him so much. You actually, spoiler, you may see him in the game.
Good.
He's not in Andromeda yet. That doesn't happen until the second game, and since this takes place well before that, he's still around. So
because isn't in Andromeda he's like 1500 or something like that?
Roughly, he's like 15 or 1600. I can't remember.
Yep.
He's old. Rex is 12 or 1300, so he's a little bit younger, which is interesting because Drac is considered like an old Krogan, but Rex isn't perceived as an old Krogan, even though he's kind of up there in age with Drac.
It's that couple hundred years difference.
I guess so, yeah. And I mean, he still has a good chunk of his organs, while Drac is like mostly cybernetics. He has one heart, maybe. Just his insides are mostly replaced. So, yeah, it's just interesting because now that I think about it, I was like, yeah, Rex is considered like, you know, like any old leader, but while Drax is considered just old. But it'll be fun. Drac will be fun. And a million other Asari. That's pretty much all you guys can really meet are Asari or Krogan. Everyone else has a roughly human lifespan, so you may or may not meet anyone else that's notable.
Can I toss Liara out of an airlock?
What do you have against Liara?
No,
I cannot stand Liara.
What?
I have never been able to stand her. Since Mass Effect 1, I've found her annoying.
Okay, just for that, she's roughly 70 years old at this point. She's coming.
Okay.
She was a little bit annoying in Mass Effect 1, but she got a lot better.
My character,
at least I think she got a lot better.
Yeah, when she became an NPC and was no longer useful to you.
Whoa, not until you played the DLC, first of all. And second of all, she becomes a badass. Thank you.
Waste of time.
I like Liara.
So
Liara
character will try to sleep with her.
Liara was second-rate space nerd.
Your character's gonna sleep with everybody.
I'm continuing my Mass Effect run.
Wait. I have to ask. Do you just like Kirk everything?
In Mass Effect, I totally Kirked everything, especially in Mass Effect 2.
I think I told you this before. He showed me. I sat down and witnessed it. He was like, "Come here, watch this."
Wait.
One person breaks up, goes to the next person.
Hold up.
Rinse and repeat.
I did it, and I was sitting there going, "No way, this shouldn't be possible." And so I just went from one romance option to another romance option to another romance option.
So what I'm hearing,
all within half an hour.
What I'm hearing,
I ended the play, and I called Lacey over. I was like, "You're not going to believe this. I'm going to try to do it again." And I went through and I did it all the way through the entire chain of potential romances because I'd gotten
yeah, it's a space hero.
He hit that point with everyone where all he had to do was talk to them again and they'd sleep with him.
But so I have to ask that after you slept with him and broke up with him, did you get the worst ending because nobody trusted you?
No.
Really?
No, here's the worst part. The kind of relationships he had with them, and I know because the way they spoke to him was he reached such a high affinity with them, as in like Paragon status. So when he broke their hearts, including Jack and Tali, you bastard.
No.
They were like,
Jack,
you know what? We
was the one
understand.
bad one.
Maybe this wasn't meant to be. We understand. And I'm like, bitches, hit him in the face. Don't be understanding.
Jack's was hurt. The one bad one because that was the rogue sleep with.
Mm-hmm.
That was the not building up the relationship at all. So like I felt bad about that one
because she cries before you have sex with her. She cries because she finally has something that's like nice, and then this bastard breaks up with her. I'm like, oh my
God. No, it wasn't breakup. It was the rogue option.
She poured Kerr hard on her sleeve for you. That is a side of Jack we don't see.
I will say the only person in my
I think you're mixing
playthrough,
up the playthrough.
the only
No,
person in my
no, I'm not.
playthrough that actually ended up dying on the final mission was Miranda.
Oh, did you pick the wrong
That's
biotic?
okay.
No, I just every time I told Miranda to go to hell
Oh, interesting.
because she had an issue with Jack,
Miranda has issues with a lot of things.
and I don't like Miranda. She's another
Oh,
person I just threw
actress.
out right out the airlock.
I actually liked Miranda too.
Nope.
I love that actress. I think that's why I was a little biased. I was
Out-
like, hey, it's
it's
from
like-
Chuck. I like you.
It's like you're out the airlock, Tara's out the airlock, a lot of the crew in Andromeda's out the airlock.
Whoa, Cora. Cora can go.
Yeah, Cora can go.
Cora
can
can go.
go.
She's the one I haven't romanced yet, and I do not want to, but I gotta. But ugh.
If Liam went, I might be sad for a day,
Nope,
but I
Liam
get
goes
over
out the
it.
airlock too.
PB can go out the airlock.
PB grew on me, but I even did her romance and everything too, and I was like, you're more of just like that weird friend that I call on sometimes for like
She
a
feels like
party,
she-
but
PB's fine.
Tries too hard to be herself,
PB's fine.
and it's
Like,
irritating.
She's like the quirky person in the group. She's fine.
That's
Now,
a
Vetra
great way to put it, Fox. I
and
love
Jaw.
that. I've had problems with people in real life because they are trying too hard to be themselves and like just
Exactly,
be
yeah.
like, here's me.
Mhm.
It's like,
Now, see, I just
Calm
like
down.
in my playthrough, I just met Jal. I'm like, okay, you're a cool guy.
I love him so much.
You're not gonna be
He's
in
my
the,
space lion.
you're not gonna be in the main group, but you're cool.
Him and Drac were always rolled with
Nope.
me.
I nope, because I have to keep the Krogan Turian group. So it's Drac and Vetra.
Banter is hilarious though. Like, oh my god, there was a joke Drac said. He starts laughing to himself. This is like when you're in the Mako, whatever. He just starts laughing, and you're like, "What?" He's like, "I just thought of a joke," and Joel's like, "Well, what's the joke?" It's you won't get it. It's from the Milky Way. It's like, well, let me try. So he says the joke. I can't remember what it was, but it was about an Elcor, and it was funny. And even your character laughs, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't get it." Because he's never been an Elcor, so it's like
A lot of
Joel
the
is the-
Mako banter is amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jal is pretty much the forever straight man in every joke.
Here's the thing, though, and this is what I love about Jal. He's a gentleman in the streets, a lion in the sheets. He's very rar. And a poet. Oh, serenade me. Anyway, what's up?
So I'm
Got
tossing
you really
a lot,
quiet.
so I'm
this is
tossing
my
a lot of
life. This
people
is what I
out.
deal with.
I'm tossing a lot of people out the airlock.
Oh god. Wait, who's the one that's been the racist in Andromeda? Technically there is no racist in
And-
Andromeda. It's just Korra's
See
the whole by the
anybody-
book bitch.
See anybody who's against the Krogan. So most
They're
of
not
the
really
people
racist though.
Nah,
It's because most of the Krogans were part of the space rebellion.
yeah, there's a reason for that. They were mistreated.
That's true. I definitely blame the Solarians for
Because
that.
yeah,
one, or at least
because
the Solarian
because
leader.
this is what happens when you put a Solarian in charge.
He was a dick.
It's
He
just
was
all
a
of a
dick.
sudden you can't trust those Krogan.
He was a dick, and I hated him. But yeah, no, there was there was really no racist as far as like your group party. It was just Korra was by the book. She loosens up later if you're nice to her, which is actually very refreshing.
I locked
Ashley.
her in her room so far, and like, you play with your plants.
Oh,
You are seeing no action time on the ground.
no, she got better. She definitely got better. And I was like, I don't think I ever used her for my party, but if you just talk to her enough, you can get the level up. But she got
a
better.
little bit better, but she always stayed like a fifth or sixth pick.
Yeah. I think she was always last pick for me. Always last.
Well, that's because you made a Vanguard, right? And she's a Vanguard. You don't need two Vanguards in a group.
Yeah, no, Vanguard is always for the win. I can't even play anything else. I have way too much fun as Vanguard for any game.
Is a lot
that's
of
why
fun.
that's why Krogan's a Vanguard. And he's got a riot shield because I'm just gonna biotic charge everything with that shield.
Oh, I love it. So that's the thing I had to read up on because I was a little confused. Is for the shields, it's very kind of similar to Dragon Age, where your shield holds a certain amount before you actually take damage.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike Dragon Age, where it's constant, it actually depletes.
Yeah, and you have to it has to recharge.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's like just fighting against that damage reduction until
Mhm.
it goes away.
And then
Yeah.
when it goes away, you have to take cover and be out of combat for like 10 or 15 seconds.
So really, it's just temp hit points to play with.
Mhm.
It's pretty much, but it regens pretty quickly, and you can have add-ons to buff it up to like 10 or whatever. Because I think the default's just 5. So you start off with 5.
And Raven, that's where you and I are going to come in with our tech abilities and hopefully be able to burst shields.
Oh god,
on
there's 3
enemies.
of you there to have tech abilities. All right, you guys are set.
Oh, actually, I'm really tempted to do and I'm still building the character, the heavy drone route.
Which is going to be fun.
Yeah, you'll still have tech abilities though.
Yeah.
That you can
Yeah.
take like shield breaker.
Just pop up drones everywhere. It's like, oh Lord, why?
I'm
Yeah.
so okay with this.
I mean, yeah, it's Krogan goes in with the shield and just shotguns everything. And then there's just a ton of drones all over the place.
And we're just sitting in the background going, your shields are broken. Your shields are broken. Oh, he's going that way? His shields are broken.
No shields for anyone.
Yeah, combat's going to be very interesting. It's going to be fun though. I have a lot of stuff set up, and like so far, I mean, only 3 of you have given me something, and so far 2 out of the 3, like the second I read your backstories, I was like, I got it. I know what I'm going to do to fuck with you. I know now.
I
It's
mean,
a positive
Slightly
thing.
worried by
I
that.
mean,
It's a positive thing.
I mean,
Some people call them backstories. We call them ammunition.
exactly. I mean, if you want to fuck with a Krogan, genophage. That's all you got to do.
So have you
That's
heard of the
old
Xeno?
news.
Have you heard of the phage?
It's like the door-to-door. Have you heard of genophage? Let me tell you.
I could just see Fox's character just like, so how's that genophage treating you?
What a dick.
I mean,
And then
Not
there are-
hearing
gonna
a
say
no here.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to say yes, but I'm not going to say no either.
See, that's the thing now. Once I think I get everyone's stories, it will help me a little bit better on how I, quote unquote, force you all to stay with each other because
Yeah, I'm
some
really
of you have to
interested to
step
see
away.
how that plays out. Given, just like you've got that Solarian, Turian, Krogan trifecta, and you're locking them in a room together.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. But again, once I get everyone's, it'll be a lot easier. But
Given my
none of you
skills,
know
I
how I
have
am
an
as a
idea.
DM yet. I mean, technically, I don't even know how I'm a DM yet. So
Just
See,
roll
I-
with it. Just roll with whatever everyone's going with, and at like random times, drop in that like emotional damage.
See, in one room,
Yeah.
you've got the Solarian, Turian, and Krogan trying to beat the crap out of each other, and in the room right next to that, you've got the Drell trying to sleep with the Asari.
which is actually hilarious.
You've got the whole game right in front of
That's
you. Right
pretty much
there.
what it is. That's pretty much what it is. Because his character is going to probably take one look at Tam's character and be like, well, hello. And she's going to be like, go away.
Oh God! So Shadow Fox is just playing a space bard.
Well, I like to call him James Bond, where he's playing a hoard out James Bond. More like Archer, I guess. I can go with Archer.
Archer, but with like if there's
Less
any
obnoxiousness.
witty humor, it's going to be very dry because it's the Drell, and it's me,
And they
I'm
don't like
I'm
humidity.
not super witty.
But
Oh,
you set me up for that. Sorry.
yeah, I did. That was good.
No, more like Roger Moore, James Bond. Sean Connery, I feel like had class. Roger
What?
Moore.
Whoa! Are you saying Roger Moore didn't have class? How dare you?
I
madam.
feel like his pants dropped more than Sean Connery's.
No, Sean
I don't
Connery's
know.
were. Sean
I know.
Connery's
I am
were-
basing this off of the knowledge of ever seeing only 2 James Bond movies, one being Roger Moore and one being Sean Connery. That is the extent of my James Bond knowledge. And I was extremely disappointed The one Sean Connery one I saw, not once did he say shaken, not stirred. Not once. And I was extremely disappointed.
That line is uttered very little, actually.
Yeah, it's actually not used very often.
Well, you know what?
Actually, I think
shove it in my face with humor with every other show and spoof. I want to hear it.
I think of all the James Bonds, Pierce Brosnan said that line the most.
I have never seen the first James Bond. Wait, was Goldfinger considered the first James Bond?
No.
No, then I've never seen the first James Bond. I've only seen Goldfinger and...
It wasn't Never Say Never. It was the
one with
version
the
of
elf.
Never Say Never that came before that. Because Never Say Never wasn't officially a James Bond.
From Russia with Love.
No, that wasn't it.
I don't know. I'm just naming movies that I think are James Bond.
I mean, pretty much this is just my character right here. But instead of car, just replace it with ship.
Oh, it's gonna be interesting. You guys are gonna be an interesting bunch, but I'm still sad that this game's ending, but when one door closes, another one will open.
It'll be fine.
When and
Yeah, Rosa wasn't one of those Never Say Never, if I remember correctly.
Oh, there you go.
It was. There were two James Bonds that were basically the same movie, just done by different directors.
all I know is I want to throw somebody out of an airlock. That's going to happen.
I kind of want to see that too, so I can set up a situation like that. It could even be one of your teammates. Who knows? But I can't set you up for that. But I could set up just a random NPC. Like,
I'm sorry.
Here's an asshole.
I'm sorry. You touch the flight controls. I'm either shooting you or tossing out an airlock.
Oh God, you're like the Solarian in Andromeda.
Or both.
That's my character's like a part of my character's background. He is a pilot. And the thing is, it's like my bond is if you touch my flight controls, I will shoot you.
I'm seeing a lot of conflict here already because we've got the Turian and the Krogan, which are just naturally going to butt heads.
You don't have to, though. That's the thing. You do not have to.
Yeah,
we've got the Krogan who's the pilot.
Yeah, at the helm.
Like, don't touch any of this. But then the Turian, who is likely going to be the navigator because she's got proficiency with navigation in ships, and every ship needs a navigator. So you've got the pilot that doesn't want anything to do with the navigator, who doesn't like the pilot, and they have to work together. And it's, oh boy.
You know, this is exactly like Andromeda. I forgot his name, the Solarian and the human Gil.
Yeah.
Where he was the engineer and he was the pilot, and they butt heads so much. They didn't hate each other because of race or anything like that. They just hated each other's views and them touching each other's shit.
I mean, I can understand that because I'm one of those people. Like, the one rule that I have is, like, I'm in, like, if I live with anyone or anything, I have one rule: don't touch my shit. I'm with everything else. Do not touch my stuff, or we're gonna have problems.
Worst come to worst, the three other characters will band together and shove the two conflicting characters out the airlock, take the ship, and two new, hopefully more agreeable characters will be
let's take the two strongest, beefiest characters, and let's get the three weaker, skinny characters and thrust them out the airlock.
Weaker?
Well, you're not the tanks.
I mean, I was reading up on Krogan, and they're like, oh, they're over 7 feet tall and close to anywhere between 500 and 800 pounds. I'm like,
you're pure muscle.
Damn.
And organs. Multiple organs.
We're doing this in a setting that has technology where somebody doesn't have to lift 800 pounds by themselves.
Yeah, you just need the Asari to just use her biotics to just lift everyone. To be like, hey, Krogan.
Yeah, it's just going to be like...
Now, I may not have the muscles of a Krogan, and I may not have the biotics of an Asari, but I've got talons on my feet and my fingers.
You have to take off your boots first, bro.
Now, I have the size of a Krogan, and I have the biotics.
However, you need the implants.
Yeah, well,
just build the weapons. It's fine.
Does HB Fox get a bite attack?
Oh, that you've got like fangs, man. And I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about rows.
Like
Yeah,
multiple rows of teeth that go like this far back
Gilly-
on the face.
Gilly's got a point. She says, unless I read it wrong, which is possible, lift can only move up to 25 pounds.
Technically in the game, they made it into mage hand, but if you go into the video game, you fucking use lift, especially at a higher level, you can
And
lift
you're just
all
like-
the Krogan you want, bitch. All the Krogan you want, and it's glorious. In the game, they dumbed it down to be
It's like
mage hand.
it's like all the Krogan just become featherweights.
That's the best part is when if I have to fight against a bunch of Krogan, I'm just like, lift, bitch. shoot. Great.
DM said it. I can do it.
I may like when you guys get to higher levels, I may tweak some of the spells because I'm like, bitch, if you can do this in the games, you should be able to do this in the RPG because that's half the fun. But I'll make it like level up when you level up kind of thing.
Eventually, it's like mass levitate.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like everyone up.
Yep. Pretty much. So I'm thinking of doing that with a few spells, not all of them, but a few where I'm like, I'll beef it up when you guys level up. But right now you can only lift 25 pounds.
That's the level 1 version.
It's the level 1 version, yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm just really excited because I'm hoping, because again, I've never been a DM. I'm just hoping that at least the overall story or the situations I put you guys in are not either predictable, cliche, or at least entertaining. I want them to not bore you or anything. So that's where I'm like, oh god.
Sometimes the best way you can go is cliche.
That's true, and that's kind of slightly how the overall arc is going to be, slightly, but I think it'll still be fun and surprising. So we'll see.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna see new
Something
shit.
I've learned very quickly when DMing. You've got your book of notes, which are literally point form things that you might get to, and the rest is literally what happens to work at the time.
Because somebody in your group saw something shiny.
Or you write something and the players go a totally different direction, and you're like,
Tuesday game.
That's exactly like the meme I love to see, where it's just like you walk into a tavern, you see a shady, mysterious character eyeing you guys suspiciously in the corner. All right, who else is in the tavern? A goblin trying to gamble. I want to talk to that guy. Wait, what?
Yep.
yep.
But okay.
When you finally get a hold of the DM's campaign journal and it's empty. It's like,
All you assholes
we
go
have the
rogue.
entire plan. Why is this empty?
There is no plan.
I'm looking at all of you for that reason.
There's a reason why
You guys,
we have.
took my plan away.
There's a reason why we say we have an idea for a campaign.
Yes.
Because unless it's a one shot where we can keep you a little bit on the rails, the moment we give you freedom, you go off that path and like 10 countries over.
Yeah. Hence why I say my notes for DMing are literally point form things that should at some point happen. Outside of that, it's like, no.
Yep. Mine are
Next to me is I literally took a page out of the Matt Mercer book and I just have a blank notepad beside me with names on it. That way when people ask dumb questions, it's like, and his name is, put note beside name. Okay, that's who he is now.
Yep. Like the DM notes that I have are story points that I want to appear, and I just go off of you guys to figure out how to get them in there.
That works.
Because I've learned far too easily that if you plan everything 100% out, you are going to be miserable.
I'm already doing that.
That'll
I'm
change
OCD.
fairly quickly.
I'm OCD, so at least I'm starting off that way.
I was the same way with the Sonata one shot. At the beginning, I had everything planned out. Well, not everything. I had a session or two planned out, like to a T. And after the first session, it was like, nope, that's not going to work. So I just wrote the descriptions of each of the NPCs and the locations. I let you guys figure out how to get there.
Yep. That's honestly 80% of DMing is literally just
herding kittens.
Can you improv? Because you will
Yep.
Yep. If you want a master class at improv, be a DM.
Another DMing note: things take a hell of a lot longer than you think they will.
be. Yep.
Combat.
Shopping for one.
Yeah.
For one. And if you say send players to a mansion that has gargoyles on a roof, and you happen to mention you think you saw one move, expect your players to stay there for an hour trying to determine whether or not the gargoyles are alive.
Yeah, I have a
Considering the
feeling-
amount of PTSD from like actual RPGs about that kind of thing, it's like, no, it moved. Can't trust it now.
I was
Yeah.
just waiting for somebody to shoot it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
I thought
may have
about it.
happened.
I have a feeling that the first session is mostly just going to be you guys at the starting point, because I have a lot of shit just laid out in that area. I'm like, God, they're either going to get super distracted and just stay in that area the whole damn time, or something's going to
session-
happen.
First session as a DM is set the scene and go grab a cup of coffee.
That's pretty much
It's
what
like,
I'm doing.
I'll be back in an hour, guys. You figure this shit out.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. But again, once I have everyone's, I'll have more of a motivation of why you guys should stick together. That's the hard part. Me just giving you candy, that's the easy part. I did realize though, and I didn't know this, so like one of the things is like, oh, one mission you get like 500 credits, whatever. And then I looked at the DM notes that they have on the N7 site, and that's more for like level like 7 or something. They're like, no. They're like, the average is like stay below like 300. I was like, oh, well, I could fudge that, of course, but I was like, oh, I went super high. Like, never mind.
Yeah, to be fair, looking at the equipment list and everything's freaking expensive in that game.
Just the
So-
equipment, or just the armor and the weapons. Everything else is crazy cheap.
I'm a
Metagel's
soldier.
pretty creepy.
All I have is armor and weapons.
Yeah, but if
You
you look at like
also-
health potions and stuff, that's cheap.
Keep in mind, you also have someone who has proficiency with building both weapons and armor on the ship.
Did you guys see the list of programs that you can get for your Omnitool?
Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
Programs.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. I
Like,
think
there-
the majority
there's
of
one
them.
that Rojan definitely needs. It like super increases your strength. And it's
Yeah.
it's one of
Does
the
it
most
increase
common
the
ones
damage my
available.
shotgun does?
Here's the thing, though, that you may have
It will
misread.
increase
If it's
the
a
damage
common
your
one,
shield does.
most of them have limited uses, and then the program's deleted. So you have to use them spray. Only a very, very small handful of them are permanent. The rest of them are all like, think of them as wands. Once you use up their charges, they're done.
The programs are consumables. Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're telling me they're all written in Java?
So what I'm hearing is I have to pull a Zorro and I have to hoard all the programs.
Yes.
If that's what you want to do, that is fine by
I'm gonna
you.
get
That
one-
is
I'm
your
gonna get-
thing.
I'm gonna get one of those old school like Game Boy carrying cases, and I'm just gonna put all the programs into that and just load it into the
Oh my
Omni tool
God.
anytime I need it.
Hey, I have one of those.
Hey Zorro, Whips seems to be challenging you there.
At least Zero can't hoard when she DMs. Oh, contrary. I am playing an NPC captain for the crew.
There is going to be an entire room that is nothing
But
but
potions.
uh,
Or Metagel.
Metagel.
Gel.
You just walk into the captain's quarters and she's like, come in, and there's just walls of
There is
Metagel.
no-
Oh, it's
there
not even
is no
stacked.
ship
It's not
doctor.
even stacked. You open it up and you just instantly get crushed by like 5 crates of Metagel.
It'll be like those infomercials for like Tupperware where they open the cabinet and it just floods the entire room.
And the spoiler is we finally clear a space to get into the captain's quarters, and the captain themselves is just sentient Metagel.
No, there
She is made
no,
of
there is no
Metagel.
doctor. There is no ship doctor. It's just a room full of Metagel.
Yeah, that's another thing you guys will have to think about too, is that you need to, well, you don't have to, but they do say if you get a ship, especially a big enough ship, you're going to have to hire a crew.
I mean,
you need to
recruit
make
people.
money to
I mean,
pay the crew.
You said we have a captain. That seems to be the captain's job.
No.
Except the
Captain's
captain.
not doctor, captain's not engineer,
No,
captain's
no.
Captain
I
can
mean,
or-
I mean, it's the captain's job to find crew.
Except the captain has the power to order the crew to go find more crew.
All right.
I'll tell you.
Yes.
Hope you like a Krogan doctor.
Krogan
Hey, they
doctor.
exist. I mean, they're shamans,
Walk
but
it
you know.
off.
Yeah, rub some dirt in it.
Actually, the Krogan shamans are very spiritual. They're very un-Krogan like. I'm like, huh.
Because they're all female, aren't they?
No.
No, they're not.
Sorry, are all female.
Well, all the,
No, but he's talking about the Krogan
shamans, I
shaman.
mean.
No, they're not, because you actually meet one. If I remember correctly, in Mass Effect 2, you meet a shaman.
It's just the
that's
trial.
male.
The trial that they have to take
Oh,
is
that's right.
very
Yes, okay.
dangerous, and it's either you succeed and you become a shaman or you die.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no middle
right.
ground. It's either win or lose, 0 or 100.
Yeah. So they're not like the only thing that makes the Krogans different when it comes to sexes, because they don't care. You can be male, female, do whatever you want. But ever since the genophage was introduced, the Krogan males protect the females like they're
Yeah,
sacred, because they're
right.
like, we only have so many of you. We can't reproduce that fast. Like it's I can't remember what the statistics are. I think it's like 1 in 500 are born or something. It might be actually not as high as that, but it's still like Krogans
For
are still being born.
children?
It's just very low.
the
Not how
genophage,
often.
it's 1 in
Yeah.
2,000.
1 in 2,000. That's what it was.
Yeah, 1 in every
Yeah.
2,000 Krogan children survive.
But here's the thing, though: Krogans can have litters, so it's like, okay, yay, but at the same time, oof.
Yeah, because
Oof.
because I was reading it up on it, and it's like within a year, an average Krogan female can lay clutches of eggs up to 1,000 in a year.
So I mean, not bad, but it's still not as great. But they're not rare; they're just very uncommon.
Yeah, and like
And so the
any,
women are sacred.
any child that's born and survives is treated as like a miracle.
Yeah. Which is why it was so happy in Andromeda when you got to see well, you don't actually get to see baby Krogan. I was actually very disappointed about that. But there are baby Krogan.
Yeah, but because the people are like, we're not animating baby Krogan.
Why not? That's all we ever wanted. Baby Krogan.
Like in my mind, a baby Krogan is a tadpole.
Just a little less armor. Like they still have the little armor piece on the head, but a little less. It's a little less patchy on the sides, and they just got their little tails because Krogans have tails.
So
they're just like,
I learned this today, that bump on the back of their head where that armor's at, that stores moisture.
yeah,
It's like a camel's hump.
yep.
An angry tadpole, yeah, with a shotgun.
But they're so cute. Oh, I've seen at least fan art I've seen of it. Well, technically, you do see a picture of baby Krogan, because if you choose the 3rd secret ending of Mass Effect 3, and it shows you merging, I think, organics and synthetics together, which is
Mhm.
supposed to be like the true ending, you actually see, if you cure the genophage, baby Krogans.
And you should be curing the genophage.
You should.
You
Otherwise, you're
monsters.
a monster.
You monsters.
And you hurt Morden. You're a double monster. And then you have to kill Rex, because Rex
Yep.
finds out.
See, I like Morden, and Rex is my bro, so I can't betray either.
Can't. I tried doing a Renegade playthrough. The second, I can't remember who it was. I think when Tali committed suicide, I was like, done. I can't do this anymore. Nope. Playing
But
over.
you
I don't
know
care.
what? You know the funny
Nope.
thing is, I'll choose Legion over her every time.
Legion dies though.
But he becomes the connecting piece to give the bots their sentience.
Yeah, he dies no matter what you do. It's
Yeah.
it's like a self-sacrifice thing. But I was like, and then I looked up. I cheated ahead of time, and I just looked to see what all the other Renegade options are, and I'm like, I can't. I just can't. Nope. I'm going back. I'm redoing this playthrough. I don't give a shit.
Gut shot Ash, I can do that every day.
That's different. Yeah. No, I can. Yeah.
Just watch it over and over and over again, slow motion.
Oh, it's glorious. But yeah. So
Can
that's
I-
Dragon Age.
Can I send a certain 1-year-old out in an airlock?
And I mean, technically, when we wrote a while back on certain lines we shouldn't cross with each other, we technically didn't mention that. Technically, sending out an infant practically on an airlock.
I mean,
Not canon. We can't kill her.
Yeah. If anything,
I am-
it would just explain why she hates the Krogan. When I was younger,
No.
some psychopath tried to throw me out an airlock.
I am playing a sniping drill trained assassin. Just
And that's the
putting
one
it out
time he misses.
there.
You had one job.
I had one job on the ship, and damn it, I didn't do it right.
Now
I did
we
get
have
some
Ashley
galaxy
for the next
dice.
game.
Now see
Oh,
now see there's the question. Did did anybody ever side with her to kill Rex in the first game?
No, not at
Never.
all. Not even my Renegade playthrough.
No.
I was like, this is one thing I can't do, bro.
I
No.
romanced Ashley. I know, shocker. In the first
Or-
game, and I still didn't side with her to kill Rex. It's like, no,
Actually, the
fuck you.
very first time I played Mass Effect, the very first time I killed Rex. Not on purpose, and
Oh, you just failed the.
yeah, I was not
the
siding with
conversation.
Ashley. I was still telling her where to get off the entire game. But in the conversation, I made the wrong choice with Rex.
Did you
and he got
reset
really
it?
angry.
Did you
And-
reload the game?
No, I don't. I can't.
Oh.
I can't do that. I have to suffer with my decisions.
But then you had to suffer through all three games.
I mean, that's what happened. I mean, I'm right there with you. The only time I ever reset a game was when I couldn't go full Renegade in the third one.
So-
I could in the first two for the most part, but there was a part that devastated me in Dragon Age 3. There was this horrible part with Iron Bull, but I kept rolling with it because it's this decision I made, and I'm like, this hurts.
So did
Ugh.
what happens at the start of Mass Effect 3 if you completely botch the suicide mission and everyone dies? How do they get around that? Do they just resurrect him again out of
Oh,
a toenail?
I think before you, oh shit,
Because
it's been a long time since I played it. I don't remember.
like the full on bad end is everybody in
Everyone
the crew,
dies.
everybody in the crew dies, and the last scene you see is Joker loading, like standing in the cargo bay of the Normandy with all the caskets.
That
I
point,
want
you
to
shouldn't
say
even play
Cerberus
Mass
is
Effect 3.
involved. Yeah.
At
Just
that
don't play
point, you
Mass Effect
haven't
3.
earned playing Mass Effect 3.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I wonder if, and I could be thinking this wrong, I think technically it is considered an ending, but because everyone died, it restarts, so at least one or two people survive, so the story can continue, so it's not a real ending.
Oh, I just thought like the Elusive Man had like a bunch of shepherds on ice.
No, he does not. He's an interesting character too. If anyone's read the comics, he's a very interesting character.
I mean, if I were him, that's what I would have done. I would have just had like a series of shepherd clones, just in case, you know, somebody decided to go
Well,
murder
here's
Hobo.
the thing. Cloning is actually pretty common in Mass Effect. However, being a human elitist group where you don't want to share that technology with anyone else, it was very difficult for humans to clone. So it was difficult for Chef to clone Shepard. So having multiple Shepards on ice
I mean,
would have been hard.
like, to be fair, it's like because they had a toenail that they had to clone him from.
I honestly don't remember.
Because Shepard got airlocked technically.
No, they found their body because you suffocate in space. Your body's still there. They find the body and reconstruct your body. So technically, you're not even cloned. You're your original form. You're just
they actually
reconstructed.
show the full body at the very beginning of Mass Effect 2
Yeah.
in that cutscene.
See, I
and
thought
it looks like you've been in a terrible fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that, but I just thought it was they cloned you from like some skin cell or something that survived being
You're
airlocked.
your original Shepherd. You are just reconstructed, and they reconstruct like your organs and everything, and that's that whole opening sequence where you see them start to pump, and so you're still the original.
I've never done it, but is it possible to play a male shepherd in the first one and then a female shepherd in the second one? Because I think it gives you that option.
The best
oh,
way to do
yes.
it, honestly, is just abuse the there is a DLC that comes with Mass Effect 2 that allows you to pick your choices that you technically made in Mass Effect.
I think that
1.
was only for PS3 though, because Mass Effect 1 never came out on PS.
I've got it on
It's-
PC.
Yeah, it's
they do
available
it on
on
PC?
PC.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I actually just finished ME1 and started ME2 week or so ago. During the character creation thing at the beginning, when you import your character, it shows you your character and asks if you want to customize it. I don't recall the gender option being there.
You
when
cannot
you're
change the
customizing
gender.
from an
No.
imp-
Okay.
So
You cannot change the gender, but if
there's-
you don't import your file, I believe it does give you the option
It
to
gives you-
change
it gives
your
you-
sex, but
yeah,
you
see,
cannot
in
import your
Emmy-
file.
That's what I was asking because I didn't
So
know
when-
if like you imported your file for Mass Effect 1.
No. In ME2,
No.
what you do is you do not import your file. You recreate the character the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you finish what I refer to as the tutorial of Mass Effect 2 and you go to get on the ship or leave that station,
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
right then, when you're on that ship, it goes through a cutscene
Yes.
where you pick your options that you technically made in Mass
Like,
Effect
did you
1.
Oh,
save
okay,
the
so-
council or did you sacrifice?
So
did you do this or this?
They pretty much get it. It's pretty much the Dragon Age,
Yes.
the Dragon Age keep
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
So the trick is you basically don't import a character file. You just
Build it.
create a new character.
Yeah.
Like my problem was I played Mass Effect 1 and I no longer have the save
Mm-hmm.
because I played it from a hard copy. That was 2 hard drives and 2 computers ago. I don't have that save file anymore. So I technically would just go through start Mass Effect 2 and just, this is what I've done. Who died on the planet? Who did this? Who did that? And then you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about it.
But yeah, if you import, if you were a male in 1, you're male in 2. You can recustomize your male character, but
Yeah.
you're male.
But
Okay.
if you
Yeah.
import, you don't get to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It
No, see that
carries
makes
over
more
the
sense
data.
because like the way I was thinking it was like with like the single skin cell and everything. If it was possible
yeah.
to like if you played male Shep in first one, but you wanted to be fem Shep in the second one, if you were able to do that. But if they just like grab your freezer burned body out of space, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
Which
no,
is why you can reconstruct yourself.
if you want to change, you just don't import and just build the new character.
I mean, technically, the excuse for why you can change your character's look again, if you import it into 3, is because it's been, I think, a year later. So it's like, oh, you could have dyed your hair, gotten a few bumps. I don't know. It was just.
Full
I
plastic
love
surgery.
making a full soldier in the first one, and then making him a biotic in the second one, and like his reaction to that. Of him,
I've seen some shit.
him having the implant, and then being able to use biotics in the Cerberus lab.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah. So that's Dragon Age.
That's Dragon Age, even though we've been talking about Mass
If
Effect.
anyone else has questions,
If anyone
now
else
is
We're
the
has
just
time
questions,
to ask.
We will never talk about the Dragon Age game again after this.
that's a lie. There are too many Dragon Age memes not to talk about it.
Yeah, and plus I started making Estia's gauntlet, like her actual gauntlet, and I haven't finished yet because it's all packed away in a box right now because of my move. So you're gonna be hearing at least more about her as I finish that. I'll be
Defender
posting
did
pictures
nothing
probably in the
wrong.
Discord, and
Yeah.
I'm undecided if I want to put the knife hole in the gauntlet that Valenta put there.
At that point, you just make the knife hole and then like restitch over it.
That'd be funny.
What
Oh, in
happened
case-
here?
In case it wasn't obvious, I was an agent of Fenharel, aka Solus.
Agent of Chaos.
So you had the agent of Fenharel and then the agent of the Archdemon.
Yeah. And then the agent of the Airshock. Funny.
And then,
And then
Magnus.
And then Magnus.
Just along for the ride.
Three secret spies and the dwarf.
Sounds like a sitcom. Oh wait, it almost
So
was.
you know everyone pretty much hated Estia from the mid to the end of the campaign, but what was everyone else's opinion of everyone else in the group?
Oh, that's a good question.
For me, Roz really liked Really liked Magnus and Valentha, but to be perfectly honest, when Valentha did that whole "this is an A and B conversation, see your way out" bullshit back on the boat, that actually hurt. That hurt him. Um, he did not like that because it's like, I've been trudging around with you guys, doing my best to help you guys out. You know, we've been fighting together, and at least the three of us work well together and seem to be on the same page. And then out of the blue,
Hey, there was some sensitive information that we did not relate to you yet.
It's like, okay, fuck you then.
There was some sensitive information we did not tell the Canary about yet, and this was not the time or the place. She was planning on sharing it later, just not the time or the place.
Nope, your secrets will get you killed.
Survived so far.
Magnus had trust issues with everybody. Strictly because, I mean, last time people got trusted, an entire family ended up dead. So
You're playing that card a lot. It might be time to put that back in the deck.
Playing the Batman card.
he just didn't like anyone on the whole. Who are we doing this for? It's important. See, Magnus never got fully told the who. It's like,
I didn't tell anyone because was an agent.
It was like, so who we spoke? Who told you we had to keep this person alive? Someone important, and it's like, okay. I mean, I guess.
A little birdie told me.
And I mean, between that and this is, hey, demons aren't that bad. It's like, I got trust issues with Valentha, but she doesn't seem to be trying to actively bring demons into the world on a regular basis. Athea's faction meter kept going down every time she did something dumb.
But hey, we had fun blowing up the bathhouse together, didn't we?
Okay, let's be clear. Magnus said, this seems far too easy.
That's not.
Famous last words.
This is fine. Magnus walks to top of stairs, goes, maybe we shouldn't. Click. Boom.
Well then, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so this is your grand plan? Blow up the bathhouse. Okay.
It was more of a plan B, I think. We just couldn't get past the door. So plan B happened right away.
Blow up the entire bathhouse. Well, we can't get past the door. May as well blow it up.
And Magnus the whole time was like, maybe we should get someone that knows how to deal with locks. That's fine.
I'm sure Valentha knows how to deal with locks. Yeah, so do I. Boom.
Now, I did deal with the lock, didn't I? It was just the lyrium on the other side of the door that was the problem.
I'm pretty sure, honestly, the entire bathhouse exploded, and like 2 hours later, a lock landed on the ground, still locked.
But not part of the door anymore.
That's now canon. The door was never, the lock was never unlocked. Like, the door blew up, the building imploded, but that lock was built to last.
I mean, you don't have to unlock it if you just remove it from the door.
But yeah, but
Forge knew this.
No, see, Forge just took it apart and then reassembled it unlocked.
That was just engineering.
Like, every time he did that, the MacGyver theme song was just playing in the background.
I like it.
But no, Magnus had trust issues, and every time somebody was keeping a secret, it's like, I guess. I mean, you're not summoning a demon or darkspawn, so it could be worse.
I only kept one secret.
From a god who apparently was literally as bad.
In my defense, I didn't know he was a god. Well, I mean, I worked for a god, but I didn't realize that he was like.
He's
No
no
one
better
knows
than the
of his actual
archdemon.
plans. Anyone who's an agent of Fen'Harel doesn't actually know his alternative motive. No one is aware of that.
That's why he's
Well.
untrustworthy. He won't even share his plans with his followers.
In this case, he was no better than the archdemon.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's fine. To be fair, Magnus is the first character I've actually had to play with a I don't trust anyone mentality.
Works. Nope. I think Magnus was the only person that Thalantha trusted. Esthea for obvious reasons. Mostly the demon
Magnus had
thing.
no ulterior motives.
Yeah.
You
That's pretty
didn't
much.
trust the Canary you met in the wilds randomly?
Considering our Canary before that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I will
Ross
not
kind
have
of
his
started at a-
problems painted on my back. No.
Ross started at a bit of a disadvantage with this group, I think,
He did.
because we were a little tainted by the last Canary that was traveling with us.
Yeah, except I actually got shit done.
hey,
So-
our other Canary got things done, like got Jimmy murdered.
Yeah, I mean, technically,
Or make
the
us
other
go back for a
Canary
bear.
is the reason that the Blight started. Technically,
Yeah.
it's his fault.
No, the fact that you're wearing the amulet is the first problem there, but continue.
Well, I mean,
He did have a play in it, though.
he was the one, as far as I know anyway, he was the one that convinced Jimmy to attack Esthea
Mhm.
for no reason whatsoever, other than let's fuck with the Blood Mage.
Nope, Rojan has the full story on that.
I have no
So if
idea what
he
you're
never
talking
did
about.
that, Jimmy never would have been killed by Esthea's hand. The Blight never would have started.
Oh, there were ways the Blight was going to start. It's just Jimmy sped things up.
So long story short, didn't trust Esthea.
Someone somewhere was going to be killed by Esthea while wearing that necklace, and the Blight would have started.
Yeah.
Because Esthea couldn't put down the pretty thing.
Ross was a close second though, because she trusted him, but at the same time, she's like, "Oh, you're Canary? Ooh, we don't have a good relationship because of what I am right now. So, ooh, I'll just tiptoe around you for a little bit."
Which character was my favorite? My favorite character was Esthea. She went through.
That's a given.
She went through hell and back, and also to Vinter.
Rojan likes troublemakers.
That's why Tickles is his favorite.
No.
Because you give me so much ammo to work with. The more tormented your character, the more irrational your character is, the more ammo I can just keep giving you.
And the more the rest of the party suffers for it.
Yep, pretty much.
So look on the bright side, you didn't have a deck or a coin to deal with this time.
That's true.
That's not terribly better.
Mm-hmm.
I love how getting a little off topic, when I gave Rose that coin last week, everyone started like losing their shit.
Yeah.
Not another coin. And then I was thinking, oh wait, Avernus came out. Maybe it's a soul coin. But then I was like, no, that's dead. It's not. It's useless over here. So,
I thought for a moment that it was a soul coin as well.
did anyone see the God, what was it called? The Hall of Many Eyes or whatever it's called, the D&D thing that they come out with every year.
Yeah.
They did the Avernus one.
Yep.
And there was a session where they had a soul coin and the guy bid it to see if it was real, and he said he heard screams. And they're like, "Oh man, you heard screams!" And every single person was like, "Let me hear." So the person was like, ah! The whole time. It was pretty funny. Anyway.
Did Ross have any demons he had faced before meeting the party? I think we covered that. I think like this whole thing was like a first time experience for Ross, right?
Yeah, he hadn't really come across them. Heard of them, definitely did not trust them at all, especially given what they were capable of. If anything's able to just pop up and show up out of nowhere and do that kind of destruction, it's probably a bad thing. Just saying. So yeah, he hadn't run into them before. I'm pretty sure they're not very rampant on Parvalon. I mean, they're demons. They can show up wherever they want, right? But wherever the fade goes. But considering how the Kunari treat their mages and how under wraps they keep everything with the fade, anything like magical oriented, they're not complete strangers to, but they definitely try to keep their heads out of. So, yeah.
I'm gonna miss my walkie-talkie.
Your walkie-talkie. You have one in the Tuesday game.
I do, but this is like a secret walkie-talkie.
Is it just a thing with RPs to have something like Baba Yaga in the deck of many things to keep showing up? It's...
I mean, it's whatever you make it to be, technically.
It's because Rojan really likes to throw chaos at us.
I do.
That's true.
I
That's
do,
what
but
it is.
it's a little it's like a favorite for people to throw in unexpected things like encounters with Baba Yaga or the deck of many things, or a belt that slowly drains your life away but you don't know it. Just random occurrences of chaos that cause a little bit more trouble for the group, to where it's more of a unwelcome annoyance, but if left unchecked can turn into something a little more disastrous.
Like a bell that teleports your ship.
Like a bell that teleports your ship. Or a coin that keeps telling a rat to flip it.
Yeah.
Need to destroy that thing.
We can't.
You can't. It's Jin make. You can't destroy it.
We have to get a Jin to do it. Oh, wait, we came across a Jin, but oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Someone shot her
Jin?
sister in the face.
I want to know what he
the
whispered
tickles
to her.
hello.
The tickles hello.
I mean, we could always just not rescue Tickles.
I mean, you could.
See, me, the player, contemplates it. Ash, however, does
To be
prefer.
fair, I think Tyrus is a little happier with dice than Tickles.
What
Oh
we
no,
need
I'm
to
on
do
edge with dice.
is we need to find a scroll of sending and then send a message to Tickles that just says, in the most ominous voice one of us can make, flip the coin.
Do it. All it does
Let
is
her do the
do it.
rest.
Doesn't even say anything about
Honestly-
coin. Do it.
Honestly, I'd allow it. I would allow it.
Do it. Do it.
Somebody else has to come up with that idea, though, because Zale doesn't know what the sending spell is.
Someone has to also have the sending spell or said scroll.
Let Tickles
Yeah.
and her kidnappers deal with the outcome of that coin.
Well, Ash did mention that she wanted to contact her, and then she realized, oh fuck, Sven actually has it. So I'm like,
Yep,
oh, crap.
Sven
How are we
has-
gonna get hold of her?
Sven has the orb.
Yeah, so Ash has already mentioned the idea of trying to get a hold of her, but that's as far as it goes.
Why do I get the feeling Sven is just attached to Calbros's armor just to be a little shit?
I will tell you, since you guys have gotten on that ship, he's been within 5 feet of somebody the entire time.
Oh, that asshole. We just need to look up.
My perception is at a -1.
He's the goop that's on Zale's floor.
Gross.
You're stepping on his
Oh my
face.
god, that would fit. That would actually fit. He could probably make a bunch of eyes pop up, and
He could be the sails for all we know.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
very true.
He could also be the ship.
This is
Nah.
true.
He could even be Scarlet.
Nah.
probably one of the pirates are just lurking in the shadows.
I mean, when you think about it, though, it kind of makes sense. Like, it works out because I know we had discussions before about how some of us were frustrated with Tickle's recent action, especially since some of us recently became parents and all that stuff. We're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. At the same time, it actually kind of works out because when we get down to where she is, Tears has some beef down there. It's pretty darn close to where we need to go for one of the liches. And then if we just keep going around, we'll hit Tharia.
I'm trying to remember where we're
what
heading.
we do. We're heading
To the southeast, to the far reach.
I have a mind
The-
like a sieve.
We're on the eastern coast of like the main continent, and
Yes.
the two known locations of liches are off the western coast of the main
Oh,
continent.
wait. Does this have to do with the spooky wooden sword?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's literally what it's labeled as in my inventory. Thank
It's
you.
because they told you to go to like
Right.
Veldur or something like that.
Yep.
I have it in my
Yep.
notes.
As do
Um,
I. I
which
just
is
don't have the sheet open.
Pretty close to the capital that we're trying to go to. But at the same time, if we go across that same bottom, Helios is where we need to go for one lich, and then Tharia just straight, northwest of that.
If we
A lot of
even
ocean.
decide to continue pursuing the liches, now that we have that information that killing the liches could be, bad juju for the whole Fey Court thing.
Which is going to be interesting because Ash is very adamant about her grandfather, at least.
See, I'm down, or I guess Zale's down to kill the one witch that's your grandfather, or say witch? Lich, that's your grandfather. Because she kind of told you that she'd help you with that like ages ago. Leave Tharia alone, like never
Yeah.
touch that continent ever. And then just go confront the Fey Court with one of the liches still alive.
That's what I'm kind of thinking too. But again, that will have to be. We have a long boat ride. So, well, it's not even that long because we have actually a fast ship. Because it said it was going to take about a little less than 2 weeks or something to get there. So
Something like that.
yeah, so we've got time to discuss it. But yeah, I know that that's Ash's plan, is that she doesn't like having the other lich be around. But you know what? Let's just off Granddaddy. Go to
Yeah,
Fate,
I mean,
see what happens.
liches, they kind of tend to stick to their own areas, right? They aren't world domination type creatures.
Well, no, didn't we find out that they do want to spread it?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Oh, I thought they did.
Nope.
Oh. But Tharia is also kind of close to where I am. At least too close for comfort.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
And she had her people attack my town, so.
You're part of a family that like plays a big role in the vampire armada. I think you'll be okay.
In a different country. Plus, Daddy's strong, and he has some skeletons that are coming out of his closet now. So who the fuck knows?
This is
Yes,
gonna be
Rosa.
a fun conversation.
Yeah,
Rojan,
Rosa,
are you
there-
saying
there
that
is-
lich?
Yeah, the lich in Zale's estate is senile.
In the villa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you saying-
he's completely harmless unless you attack him.
Are you saying we can't use him to help us take down the Fey Court?
Not really.
I don't think he's. Yeah.
His plan
He's
to take down the Fey Court would just be throwing a bunch of people in the people pult until got his results. That's his one focus in life right now is
Yeah.
perfecting the people pult.
Maybe he will enchant the people pult for us so that it throws people through a shadow road to the Fey Court.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
So pretty much what he's doing is he's throwing corpses through a portal and landing on the front lawn of the Fey Court.
Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, it could be done.
with delayed resurrection on each
Yep.
of them.
It's like they like crash and they burn and they die and they get up as zombies and start attacking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
There
who
you go.
keeps doing this?
It's how we're taking down the fake court right there.
It just cuts back to like this senile lich laughing as he's just pulling a lever.
That's like our third. We have a dragonborn lich that runs the tavern, but it's funny because he's so cool and we love and protect him because he's just like, yeah, I'm a lich, but I just want to run a bar and make love to my succubus girlfriend, whatever. It's just whatever. He's so relaxed. It's like, you're fine.
It's like, you're not hurting anyone. This is fun.
And every time we've gotten into battles that are like in his bar or something, he's been on our side fighting. So it's like, it's fine. He's lovable. We love him.
See, that's the thing. You never attack a barkeep because they're usually retired adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
Or retired lich. In a
And
sense.
really, really good ones too.
Yeah.
What are you, level 20 barbarian? I just like to run my bar.
One alcohol, please.
Yeah, not to mention that one of his best buddies that owns a jewel shop down the street is like a half dragon, ancient half dragon that used to serve Tiamat, and he's like, I don't do that anymore. He's like,
Actually,
the Tiamat.
is still the champion of
He still
Tiamat.
is, but he's just like, here's some gold to keep you satisfied because you like hoards. Here you go. And that's why he's a jewel keeper. And we're like, oh, you're, wait. I was like, wait, you're a paladin or a champion of Tiamat? Ah, you're fine. You're lovable. You're on our side. Oh, the shenanigans. But yeah, in this case, it's more of like, oh, you're my grandpa? Oh, but you're a lich. You need to die. And then we can deal with the assholes that
Hey,
backstab Rose.
maybe your oh god, whatever monster slayer dad can deal with the problem.
Yeah, once there's some peace and calm and everything,
If you, I
Ash is
will
gonna have a
say,
conversation.
if you ever let him know where Vincent's at, he will probably start getting the band back together to take him on.
I'm kind of want to do this. But I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Like,
If you
well,
bring- if you
Calvas
bring-
would sign up immediately.
If you bring
Just saying.
Xavier into the mix, it's going to be one huge fight.
Yes. But I don't want Daddy to die.
Oh, Xavier won't die.
Good.
I can't say about the rest of you.
Oh. I mean, let's be honest. Ash is probably most likely. She's going to confront him anyway about, Daddy, what's this that I discovered? And then probably mention like, hey, I think I know where Granddad's at. Because she confronted him earlier about his journals and everything too. So
Yep, and he
she's
avoided
just
the
like,
question.
Yep. So she's like, hey,
I'll tell you when you're
Granddaddy.
older.
Yeah, he pretty much pulled that. So it's like, tell me.
you're gonna tell him, and like every wall in the castle is going to turn around and be an armory. It's like, well,
So yeah, so
I will
I'm just
tell you
waiting for
this: when he fights with 6 swords at once.
Oh God, is he like Daddy with 6 guns?
He uses 6 swords at once.
Oh God, he's Final Fantasy 15 Daddy? Where they just swirl around him?
Oh no! They don't swirl
Oh.
around him like he like pulls him out of an astral thing. He uses 6 blades at
Like Wolverine's
once.
it? I'm trying to picture this in my head. Wolverine's it?
You're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, she's already planning on totally confronting her daddy, going like, Daddy, were you a monster hunter? Fuck. I have to take this call.
It's all right. I think we're gonna call it a night for now. So this was a bit of a send off to Blood on the Gray that then went into talking about Mass Effect, and then the Tuesday game. It was just rambling. I mean, that's kind of what our talk shows are anyway, which isn't a bad thing. We kept on topic with the games and what we got planned for the future, and hopefully answered your questions about the Dragon Age game.
It is a talk show.
It is
We
a
were
talk show.
talking.
This is true. We were talking.
and if there are other questions, I mean, you can always catch us at a later time on Discord.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have our Discords.
You should. If you don't,
I'm gonna see if this works. Ah, it works. Cool. All right,
the
so
bot is back.
The bot is back. Praise the bot. So there is everyone's Twitch and Twitter information. Go give everyone a follow. They are amazing people. We will be back tomorrow for more Blood on the Gray.
No, it's not Blood on the Gray Road.
No,
I just saw the name.
We'll never be back for more Blood on the Gray.
I just looked at the name. We'll be back for Destiny Forged tomorrow. I think, was it episode
84, 83?
No, we're high 80s.
I thought it was 80.
88.
Oh,
Episode 88.
Oh, I was like,
God.
I can check.
12 more episodes until we hit 100.
oof.
But yeah, so episode 88 tomorrow for Destiny Forged. Maybe you guys will make landfall if things don't get botched up too badly.
They better not. I'm planning on spending the rest of this voyage just making potions.
I look forward to those rolls.
Maybe I shouldn't get Ash to help me.
Oh, yep. And we have a YouTube link where all of our shows are on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, 24 hours after they've appeared on Twitch per their guidelines. So if there's any episodes of Blood on the Gray or Destiny Forge that you may have missed, they should be there to a certain point. Unfortunately, we don't have the entire catalog of Destiny Forged episodes because we're coming on our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Jesus.
2-year anniversary is coming up in April. I want to say it's April, right?
April or May?
We'll have to ask Zoro. Zoro knows that information. I kind of feel bad that I don't, seeing as how I'm the
You
DM
run the game?
because I run the game. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us, asking amazing questions as we sent off Blood in the Gray. We will catch you guys tomorrow for Destiny Forged. And then next week, we'll have something here on Monday to fill the time slot until we're ready for our Mass Effect game. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one.